On YouTube, you can find all kinds of people doing the most dangerous shit imaginable, slapping raw meat on their body and swimming in the ocean open waters, taking bug bites and stings from poisonous creatures just to feel the pain and rate it on a scale, jumping out of planes and waiting to parachute to the last possible second, giving a hot take about some type of drama going online. You can find people doing absolutely death-defying stunts and shit. But above all of this sits the most dangerous niche of content on the platform: backyard wrestling. There are so many channels that I've found that have like less than 100 subscribers that are doing these backyard wrestling events where they are just beating the shit out of each other for real. Now, of course, everyone knows that, WWE, AEW, it's sports entertainment. It is wrestling entertainment. The outcomes are predetermined, the moves are choreographed, but that doesn't discredit the athleticism required or how brutal the stunts are for the human body. So those are professional athletes doing it, and even they are breaking their necks, breaking bones, concussions frequently. So you take that kind of activity and bring it to people that can't even spell their own name, and you get a fucking disaster. For anyone that grew up in the 90s, you probably remember just how crazy backyard wrestling was. You had extreme backyard wrestling like the CZW, which I believe stood for Combat Zone Wrestling, where they were taking real barbed wire bats and just actually annihilating each other with them. I watched one where a guy took a weed whacker to someone's stomach and split his stomach open, breaking beer bottles on each other's heads. Backyard wrestling was about as wild and wacky as it could get. And while it's not as popular now as it was back then, it still is a pretty popular niche on YouTube in terms of how many backyard wrestling organizations there are. And I'm using the term organizations lightly because these aren't like official entities or anything like that. It's like three brothers and one of their friends who set up a kiddie pool in their backyard and start hitting each other with mailboxes and call it the fucking South Alabama Home for Badassery Wrestling Federation or something like that. But there's so many of them that do that, and they do it for real. They actually just start brutalizing each other. It goes insano style, and there's one channel in particular I want to talk about and show today. A channel where the wrestlers are, without exaggeration, risking their lives for YouTube views and wrestling fame. To die in the ring and be sent straight to the wrestling Valhalla. It's called POR Wrestling. Profits of Regret, I believe is what it stands for. Maybe it stands for probably overdosed right now wrestling. Actually, if that was it, it would actually be porn. I didn't even plan that, but what a beautiful coincidence. But the thing is, these wrestlers are risking everything, all to an audience of 7,000 subscribers they've built up over the course of, I believe, 5 years. So they're getting roughly 1,000 subscribers and some change per year for this level of danger. It seems not worth it if you ask me, but they just fucking love it. It's an extreme sport, extreme entertainment sport activity. They call it POR stunts, and they got into wrestling. And I'd like to show you the clip that I found initially from them that blew me away and actually scared me. I still think about it from time to time.
He just lit it on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen,
God, what is this? Holy crap, he just blasted Jamal
the wizard!
with a flaming
He just blasted the wizard!
Oh my gosh, Jamal's out of it, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Out of nowhere, a car just slammed into Jamal the Wizard. Holy crap, Jamal is...
Yeah, this dude just gets absolutely blasted by a speeding vehicle going 20 plus miles per hour. And there's no smoke and mirrors here. The man just actually takes a full-blown hit from a vehicle. Now, of course, the guy in front, the one that hit him with the flaming bamboo stick, he wanted no part of it. So you can see him try and pretend like he got hit. So he jumps out of the way and flops on the floor like a fish. I think what was supposed to happen is they both get hit by the car, but at the last second, this guy's like, this dude just put a brick on the accelerator. I'm getting nowhere near it. So he gets out of the way and jumps. But the other guy commits to it. He's like, you know what? If I'm going out doing what I love. So he takes a full hit from a car. No safety equipment or anything. Now, of course, him getting hit with the flaming bamboo stick wasn't real. He didn't fully hit him with it or anything like that. But all of the blood on his face is, because the match prior to this was using sharp objects and shit. So it's about as real as it can get while still being loosely rehearsed. But I'm pretty sure him taking a direct hit from a fucking time-traveling DeLorean going 88 miles per hour was probably done on the first take here without any prior rehearsal for it. He probably just signed up on a whim saying, fuck it. Yeah, you can hit me with a car, that's fine. After he just finished butt-chugging 5 moonshines in his bathtub. And, you know, they did it live. They really did go for it and pulled it off.
Oh my god, James, this is the craziest thing I've seen in wrestling. Is he even alive? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Look who it is.
We should have freaking known. JJ
Escobar.
Escobar just ran Jamal over with a car.
What the hell is he doing in here?
What in the world? I know Jamal and JJ.
Look at the carnage.
They show a replay on the Jumbotron, but I'm not going to show that. It is a very real hit that he takes. I'm pretty sure he was okay based on what I've read. However, he did not return to POR wrestling from what I've seen. His name was Jamal the Wizard, and I think he retired after this. Whether or not that was by his own choice or highly recommended by his doctors. I don't think he is still competing. I haven't seen him return, and from what I've read, he was okay from this incident, but just didn't want to continue in the league, which I think is understandable. When you take a hit from a car like this for, 11,000 views on YouTube, whatever this was, it's probably one of those things where you have to weigh the pros and cons, like, is it worth it? Maybe not.
Let's go, Seisky. Let's fucking go, baby.
Oh shit.
Yep, this is another very real stunt involving a speeding vehicle. This one looks like it's pushing like fucking 40, 50 miles per hour here. This bad boy was zooming, and it blasts through a camper and crashes into like a garage in the back or something. It looks like a scene out of the Dukes of Hazzard. The danger in this one was astronomical, not only for the wrestlers, but everyone even around the vicinity. All the spectators could have just died. Like, there were so many ways that people could have been hurt here. I don't even know where I'd start with naming them. It could have shot glass and debris at the crowd, which I'm sure it did, but they don't care. You know, they're probably so fucking drunk they didn't even feel it. You know, hey, Grandpappy, you got a piece of that window lodged in your oblique. You alright? He's like, yeah, I don't feel it. It's fine. Let's see what's happening over here with the wrestlers. He might get a 3 count on this pin. And speaking of the wrestlers, the dude hits him with like this crazy atomic power bomb through 2 tables and 12 light tubes. And I believe those are real light tubes. They're not using sugar glass or anything like that. As far as I know, they're using like actual light tube fluorescent lights. So the little glass there. And it knocks the guy out. He ends up unconscious and bleeding. And he does get the 3 count, not to spoil the ending. So the guy with the mask wins. But it feels like everywhere that guy goes, it's like the GTA 5 Chaos mod, where cars are just shooting all over the place. It's fucking crazy. Another extremely dangerous stunt for so little views on YouTube. It just really feels like it's not worth that risk. But even as of today, they are still going and the danger is still there. They posted 3 weeks ago as of the time of me making this video, and they are still just as fucking extreme as ever from what I've been able to tell. It's wild. They do not let up. They have a passion for danger, and my God, nothing's gonna stop them from it. I still can't even believe the level of stunts that they do here, because it's not just like a life or death situation for the people involved in the actual, extreme entertainment showcase. It's anyone around them. That car could have absolutely, while speeding at the camper, taken a bad swerve by hitting like a slick in the mud there, or hitting something and swerving into the crowd and just hitting them like bowling pins. There's just so much that could have went wrong there, and they just said, fuck it, let it ride anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about this because I started thinking about backyard wrestling again. Because, I mean, growing up, I used to be a fan of it. I used to watch a lot of it. I even had the old Xbox game, Backyard Wrestling. It was fun. And somehow it's still around and probably more extreme now than ever, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a bold claim to make. But it is wild, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's about it. See ya. It's that time again. That special time of year where EDP tries to make a comeback and find a platform that doesn't immediately ban him for what he's done in his past. It's become an annual tradition now on the internet. EDP's kind of like this reoccurring villain online, kind of like the box ghost from Danny Phantom, who shows up in a few episodes here and there and just gets laughed at. That's EDP. Once upon a time, EDP445 was an extremely successful YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers, but then got caught in a pedophile sting operation where he was sexually communicating with someone he believed to be a child, and even went to a physical location to try and meet that child, which led to the infamous piece of internet history where EDP tried to squeak his way out of a sticky situation when he was caught on camera at the physical location that they arranged for him to meet what he believed to be a child. He came up with the genius idea of claiming he was not there to meet a child, but was actually just there for a cupcake. It was an iconic moment that will go down in internet lore, etched into the tablets of time, and that's become his legacy. He was then banned off of YouTube, and every now and then tries to come back to hope that the heat's cooled down enough where he can make yet again a thriving career online. This is like the 5th video I've made about the EDP saga. It's got seasons to it. It's like the longest running series on my channel next to the Moist Meter. It's just wild how often he does these things and the way that he goes about them. But this time it's a little different, and I wasn't even going to make a video talking about it because it's become such a standard normal thing for EDP to try and crawl his way back. It's like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull where he locks himself in that refrigerator as the nuclear bomb goes off and then he just gets out and walks away. That's EDP. Like, he comes out, the bomb goes off, where it's like, wait, EDP's back? The guy that did all that pedophile shit? And then he gets banned, he puts himself in the refrigerator, dodging all the nukes, and then comes back another time to try again on another platform. It's been like that for 2 years. He has streamed, he's made content on every platform imaginable. He's probably made a couple videos at your local university's goddamn book club. Like, he is going everywhere to try and make money again online, and it hasn't worked until over the last month on TikTok. Over the last month on TikTok, he made yet another account, and this time he hasn't been banned. In fact, he has over 730,000 followers right now and actively live streams on there to great success. But unfortunately, it seems like this success may have brought out the kitty diddling demon from within EDP once more. He has been accused of grooming a minor. Who could have seen that coming if it's true? You know, shocker. This guy has a history with evidence of him talking sexually to underage fans of his from back in the day, being very inappropriate with them, and then in the most recent one that cost him his whole career, literally saying sexual things about what he'd want to do to someone that he believed was a child. Having these sexually charged conversations, sending a picture of his cock, sending a picture of his poop in a toilet bowl, the actual pioneer of shit pics. Like, who could have possibly imagined that on a platform predominantly used by children, he would then once again potentially communicate with children?
You knew what he looked like, right?
Yeah. I was just really trolling him. Like, in the group chat, like, when we made that group chat, we were literally just trolling him. And, like, he just took it too damn far. Like, he started, like, personally, like, DMing me. And, like, saying
he fell for it again.
Fly me out, and he's gonna like nut in me and shit.
So on here it says, "Don't let anyone ever tell you you aren't beautiful. Not even me. You deserve the best. Trust me. If I was in Louisiana, it'd be a beat down your door, smothering you with flowers and hugs. You just better prepare yourself because I'm showering you on the entire world."
That's the corniest shit ever.
This is part of a larger interview from this YouTube channel, Master at Work, and I'll be honest, I've finished watching it, but I'm still a little confused on the specifics of exactly what happened here. The best I can piece together is the girl in the interview was trolling EDP. They had like a group chat together, and while she was underage, was talking to EDP, but then she turned of age, she turned 18, and then EDP got more sexual with their conversations or something like that. I'm not entirely sure on the exact timeline of everything that happened or anything, but overall, it still seems like a very weird situation, at the very least. Assuming, of course, it's all true. There's not 100% irrefutable evidence at the moment here, and I'm sure EDP will latch onto that, claiming that it's all just fake haters trying to bring him down. because even to this day, he doesn't really acknowledge what happened and what cost him his career. Though on TikTok, he did make a video taking a slow bite of a cupcake, which is the closest he's come to talking about it, and it's really weird that he still leans in to the pedophile stuff. Like, he knows the cupcake is associated with him trying to go to the physical location where he was talking about having sex with someone he believed was a kid, and yet he will openly eat a cupcake, thus tipping his hat to it. He's trying, like, for this level of self-awareness, like, yeah, you guys all know about the pedophile past, so here's that. And now let's talk about the Eagles. It's just so fucking weird. But yeah, I really didn't want to mention EDP again going forward since it's such a normal thing that happens now, like a little natural disaster that blows through with EDP making an account and trying to get popular again somewhere. And somehow it usually works out for him for a brief moment of time where he'll get a lot of followers in a short amount of time, like he has on TikTok. The guy's like a tardigrade, or as you might know it, a water bear, which is like this tiny little micro animal that can survive pretty much everywhere. In a volcano, in space even. Like, somehow EDP always just comes back and tries to find some place to live on the internet no matter how hard the internet tries to push him away. The tenacity is unreal. But yeah, the reason I was talking about it today is because of the accusations that now came out against him, which isn't a surprising thing if all of those accusations are proven true, given his history and his repeated pattern of inappropriately talking to children. The fact that he is now huge on TikTok, which is a platform that is predominantly a child audience, it isn't surprising that he would once again go back to that pattern of behavior that he's demonstrated while he was on YouTube. So yeah, that's the EDP annual update, and that's about it. See ya. On YouTube, there's an unwritten rule that when violated, it ruins your image forever. It causes irreparable damage to your reputation, and there's really not much you can ever do to get back in the good graces of the platform. That is abusing the copyright takedown system. It's basically a 10 commandment that, when broken, is a cardinal sin that banishes you straight to the shadow realm in the eyes of everyone who uses YouTube. And unfortunately, a massive YouTuber today took a bite out of that forbidden fruit. His name is Brent Rivera. I actually recently talked about this goofball only 9 days ago. He was recently involved in some medium rare YouTube beef where he and another YouTuber named Tyler Oliveira were staying at the same haunted hotel that they were milking the tits out of for content. Now, I'm not one to usually believe in the paranormal, but after all of this going around here, I'm starting to think that Brent Rivera really did catch a curse from this hotel. He's now being haunted by a clout demon that's using his body like a fucking fleshlight, a little puppet that's forcing him to say the stupidest shit imaginable and has transformed him into an even bigger douchebag. But anyway, these two YouTubers stayed at the hotel. Tyler Oliveira started trolling Brent a little bit. He was clearly instigating, so he'd go up and like say, hey, do you fake your pranks? Nothing like super mean or aggressive or anything, just like, hey, you fake your pranks, don't you? And Brent would go on the defensive. He'd be like a cornered animal. He'd be like, oh, no, I don't fake my pranks. Do you fake your fucking pranks? And then throughout the night, the two would cross paths in what seemed to be accidental because it's not a huge area. And every time they did cross paths, Brent Rivera and his henchmen would insult Tyler. So it ended up just this horrible look for him where he looks like a piece of shit because he kept insulting Tyler. While Tyler did start it, per se, his was less egregious than everything Brent was doing, so Brent ended up looking significantly worse. It was very petty stuff. I covered it because I thought it was silly, but anyway, that's where it all started. That's why it's important here. So Brent Rivera was getting dunked on by his own community of 4-year-olds who somehow found Tyler's content, or I guess maybe a TikTok of someone dancing while explaining it, must have enlightened them and opened their third eye to the situation, because everyone turned on him. Brent Rivera got a lot of shit tossed at him. A lot of YouTubers started making content around him, and I guess at some point something must have snapped. The nice guy went bad, and Brent Rivera went rogue and started copyright striking and copyright claiming some people's content that was critical of him. And one of those YouTubers is a commentary channel named Dumpy. He's made a couple of videos clowning on Brent for this whole situation, and today posted this video titled Brent Rivera Wants to Delete My Channel, where he goes over what he's been dealing with behind the scenes over the last 12 or so hours where Brent Rivera or someone that represents him on his team have been filing takedown requests on the content that's been laughing at him. And while those weren't taken down instantly, he did have one piece of content taken down, which was this video here, and it was taken down for harassment, violating the YouTube harassment policy. Now, I haven't seen that video, and I haven't found a re-upload of it, at least not as of right now while I'm recording this, so I can't access it, but I'm inclined to believe that this is a load of dirty barnacles. Calling out shitty behavior isn't harassment. There's nothing wrong with calling out a misbehaving bad actor to the principal's office and disciplining him. As I understand it, Dumpy was just bending him over and taking his hand to his cheeks and spanking him, letting him know that what he's done is cringe, right? Like, that's not that big of a deal. But sometimes there's always going to be big egos and fragile, sensitive, thin-skinned people, like Brent Rivera seems to be, who find this content and get upset about it. And then that broken YouTube copyright system starts to look real appetizing, like a nice big glass of water while you've been starving in the desert. And they just can't help themselves. Just like Adam and Eve, they just need to take a bite out of that apple. So, either Brent or someone on his team decided to start filing copyright takedown requests, which can result in strikes. Luckily, in Dumpy's case, YouTube actually sided with Dumpy. They made him aware that someone was trying to take down the content, but they ruled in Dumpy's favor that they weren't going to be giving him any strikes for it or anything like that. So big W from YouTube on that, but big fucking L for Brent Rivera or whoever is representing Brent Rivera in this way, whether it's a fan or whether he's using one of those scummy, shady third-party companies that do these takedown requests on behalf of creators. A lot of those stinky companies exist, and it's their entire business model to just slap down all types of content unjustly in order to either bury it or make money off of it for the creator. It's a very awful thing. So it might not have been Brent Rivera himself. It could have been one of those companies, or it could have been like fans that for some reason went to arms, picked up a fucking sword and said, we're going to take down Dumpy because he was mean to the guy that we like. I guess that's also somewhat possible because of how broken YouTube's system is, and they still haven't really bothered to fix it. But me personally, I'm inclined to believe that it is Brent Rivera himself in this case here. At least from what I've seen presented in Dumpy's video, it leads me to believe that it's likely Brent Rivera or someone very close to him. So let me walk you through how this thing usually goes. When a YouTuber makes the decision to go nuclear and start filing these kind of takedown requests, the whole community turns against them. People fucking hate that, for good reason. That's the lowest shit you could sink to. Just stop being a little bitch and accept that not everyone's going to like you. And when you do some dumb, embarrassing shit because your ego bubbles over and you embarrass yourself, people are gonna make fun of you for it. That's the circle of life, baby. That's nature. That's the way God made this world. And the cyberspace as well. I bet even, the Lord was on an alt account kind of laughing about what you did here, because you looked real stupid during it. The point I'm making is, you just move on from it. You don't do this. When you do copyright abuse shenanigans, it is always like sticking your head into a beehive. You are the only one who gets hurt, but you are just too focused on the potential sweetness in that hive, that honey. You got consumed by the idea that you could take down these videos that were being mean and people being mean to you, you could bury it, but what always ends up happening is you make the problem much worse. You escalate it to a much higher degree. If I can turn your attention back to Exhibit A here, I'd like to explain why I think Brent Rivera himself or someone close to him filed this. It's because of these questions that were answered here. So, I don't remember exactly if YouTube always supplies this, but I guess in Dumpy's case they did. So these were questions in regards to the takedowns, why he was filing him. He was claiming that Dumpy used his entire video and basically just re-uploaded it, which is a blatant lie. That's not the case. Dumpy used clips from the videos and talked about it and made fun of him for it. He wasn't just re-uploading raw videos, it was transformative. He was literally giving input every fucking 15, 20 seconds, just showing clips from it to talk about it afterwards. But these were the questions that were answered. How much of your copyrighted work is used? Most of the video were my original videos from my YouTube channel. No other original content from the creator was shown. That is categorically false. This is a DEFCON, red alert, liar, liar, pants on fire, Brent Rivera's career is looking dire situation. You can watch any of the videos and see that it is not just mainly his original video, it is Dumpy opining on it. Next question, how is the market for your original work affected by this use? It affects it negatively. That right there is the biggest tip-off for me that flips on the light bulb in my head that tells me Brent Rivera likely filed this, because no self-respecting third-party company that does this professionally on behalf of creators would ever answer that question like that. It's a very concise answer, but it also doesn't even answer the question. The question is, how is the market for your original work affected? And his response was, it affects it negatively. That's like how a child would answer it. I know Brent Rivera makes videos for children, but it seems like he also has the brain of one too. He's stuck in like 3rd grade. You're supposed to explain your reasoning, so it affects it negatively, but how? Why? Like, what exactly is this doing to encroach on you and your original content? How is it stealing from you or ruining your content? And he just gives like fucking 5 words here. Moving on, does this use significantly transform your original work, or does it serve the same purpose? It serves the same purpose, it does not transform it at all. So you didn't watch it at all, is what that tells me. Because how the fuck could it serve the same purpose? It's the exact opposite purpose. The purpose of your original video is to entertain kids. The purpose of Dumpy's video was to take a shit on you. And that's it, like making fun of you for the entertainment. Unless you are saying that the content you make, you are also supposed to be the butt of the joke of, though that I don't think is the case. It doesn't serve the same purpose, not even fucking close. And the fact that he's saying it doesn't transform it at all tells me he didn't watch it, because it is mainly Dumpy talking about him and using some clips to back up his claims. Does this use fall into an exception to copyright protection? Please note that we may share your response with the uploader. No, it isn't fair use since the uploaded did not adjust the content at all and is most of his video. Again, this is structured like a literal child on a fucking 4th grade English assignment here. No professional will be answering these questions this way, especially since this is a legal matter. When you file something like this, it is literally a legal matter, and he is answering these things and can't even be bothered to get the words correct. Instead of saying uploader, he says uploaded. Like, this is very poorly put together, and it is very wrong. This is the very definition of fair use. He's not using your full video, A, and B, he is using clips in order to provide commentary and critique, and he dunks on you, showing the clips to enforce his points and talk about his points with. So it's just wrong on every possible level, and he filled this out in like 3 seconds. Like, he gave the quickest answers possible as if he was trying to just scribble his way through a test in school, like a quick quiz. It is poorly done, very haphazardly thrown together. It seemed like he was very much in his feelings and tried to take down the content that was making him upset, and now you look like an absolute fool, and you've ruined your reputation even further, Brent. If such a thing was even possible. Somehow your audience of children are actually being aware of this now, which is the last thing I imagine you wanted to happen with the drama. You're just doing all of the wrong things here. You fucked up, you should have just moved on from it, apologized for it, and been done with it. You made a terrible response to this whole thing, trying to give context to it, where even in that you make yourself look stupid. Like, you played this terribly, you played yourself, and you look dumb. Luckily, Dumpy's channel I don't think is going to get deleted or get in any hot water from this situation, so that's good, but it is really frustrating to see yet another big creator like Brent Rivera try and bully people around by abusing the copyright systems on the platform that have been broken for a long time. That's always going to be a big fuck you from me for people that do that, so very awful shit, Brent, or whoever is representing Brent here. That's about it. See ya. The only thing Garfield hates more than Mondays is drunk drivers. And so do I. I think drinking and driving is the stupidest decision a human being can make. You endanger not only yourself, but every innocent person around you. It is just a completely inexcusable, unforgivable act. There's no justifying drinking and driving, especially in the current day and age where you have unlimited access to ride sharing. There just isn't an argument you can make to even remotely justify the act of drinking and driving. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because yesterday a very big Smash Bros. Melee player named Bobby Big Balls got banned, and saying it like that actually just made it sound like a Dr. Seuss book. Bobby Big Balls gets banned. No, I do not eat green eggs and ham. Like, that kind of goes hard. But he got banned because he streamed himself drinking while driving.
Couldn't be me, man. Hey, you know, my car's pretty old, but I ain't got no dents in this bitch. Yeah, you know the fucking vibe.
Mudahar just made a video covering this yesterday, and he actually blurred out this part where he drinks from the wine, saying that it can actually get you a community guideline strike because it's showcasing the crime itself. So I'm just going to play it safe and cut out the part where he actually drinks from it, but I'll show you when he finishes drinking from it, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm feeling like Michael Jackson, man. I'm feeling like the king of pop right now.
More like the king of poop, because this is some wild shit. Actually, the worst, dumbest joke I've ever made in my entire fucking life. But it popped into my noodle. I figured might as well let it rip with no shame. Bobby Big Balls drove himself to a 7-Eleven on stream. He got some wine, and he was feeling himself. The king of pop was in a flow state, so he ripped open that bottle of wine and took a big swig before continuing on his journey home. And it was not a long journey ahead of him. He was only like 3 or 6 minutes away from his house. So he flushed his entire career down the shitter because he couldn't wait just 6 minutes to drink. It's just bafflingly stupid. Now, this was a situation that had a lot of meat on its bones here, so there's a lot to really pick apart and digest. So before I do that, I want to just go ahead and quickly mention just one more time that tomorrow, September 8th, begins my first ever live event. It's a big party. We're going to be doing Q&A, meet and greet. We're also filming a music video with the audience and also doing a 1v1 Rocket League tournament with the audience, as well as a basketball trick-shotting championship where you'd win prizes as well as winning prizes in the Rocket League tournament. And most importantly, we're going to be watching and cheering for our esports Apex squad as they compete for the World Championship. So the doors open at 8 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and then 11 a.m. on Sunday. But you don't have to get there at 8 a.m. A lot of people were asking that. You can kind of show up anytime within like 5 or 6 hours because that's about how long we'll be going each day. So you can show up anytime between like 8 and noon on whatever days you want to come. So there are still some tickets available, not many. Just really would love to see it fully filled, and it should be a lot of fun. It's at the Straz Center, so I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description of this video if you want to get tickets. Now, he did post a few tweets that I'd like to go over, but before doing that, this became somewhat of a controversial topic where people were saying, like, it's only one sip, it's not like it got him hammered, and he was already so close to home, what's the big deal? So what? And to that, I have to say, actual simpleton smooth brain take, so I'm going to go ahead and dumb this down so that way the glue snorting homunculi can understand. It doesn't matter if he was fucking plastered from a single sip. There is no excuse for drinking while operating a vehicle. Driving is the most dangerous activity that people engage in. Full stop. There is no reason to make it even more dangerous by adding alcohol into the mix. It endangers not only the person drinking, but every innocent person on the road around them. It is the most reckless decision you can ever make. And to top it all off in this case, all he had to do was wait 3 minutes so he could get home and then start just pounding his wine. There is no argument you can make for this not being a deserved ban. There were some alarming brain-dead locusts that kept offering the worst pseudo-intellectual takes on this situation, like, well, what's next? Are you going to start arresting people when they leave church after taking a sip from the wine? Huh? During Mass? What happened to freedom? That old thing America was built on? You can't just take a swig of wine while driving anymore? This is ridiculous. Just classic internet cancel culture. It's literally 1984. Can't drink and drive anymore. This country's in the tubes now. Despicable. It's just, it's so painful reading that shit. Even something as cut and dry bad as drinking and driving is now leading to debate bros trying to get into the nitty-gritty on why actually you're wrong for thinking that this is a bad thing, and here's why, with the worst takes and comparisons imaginable. Before he got banished to the Shadow Realm on Twitch, Bobby Big Balls did make a tweet in response to this starting to catch some steam and blow up a bit. He said, surely one singular sip of my 12% wine on my 3-minute drive home from 7-Eleven doesn't classify as drunk driving. As a streamer, I'm wrong and will take responsibility for my actions, and if the community wants to ban me, I will humbly oblige. I am not a role model. Please don't accept my internet personality as such. I stream to make people smile through entertainment. I am not meant to be a beacon of morals and values. I am just me. Drinking is a way I cope with life. You're welcome to judge me. This is just my truth, not an excuse. Thank you, anyone who still supports me. This all just feels like minimizing the severity of what he broadcast. Because he wasn't drunk, he doesn't view it as that big of an issue. Yeah, it technically broke a law, the open container law, but he just says that he's, wrong and will accept whatever comes his way, but that he's not a role model and not like the moral beacon of values. He's not, pinky out, super gentleman or anything. Thus, it's okay, is kind of the vibe that most people got from these tweets here. It's super weird here, the way that he like frames this whole thing. Surely one sip from my 12% wine can't classify as drunk driving. But I'm not making excuses, even though he's like immediately downplaying it. And then he goes in to say that drinking is a way that he copes with life, which of course is awful. Alcoholism is a horrible thing, so if he's using alcohol to cope with things in his life, that is just terrible, and hopefully he gets help. But it's completely irrelevant to everything that happened here. I don't know why he'd even mention it, because it's not even in the same ballpark with what just unfolded. It's not like he needed to be drinking while operating a vehicle. He was 3 minutes from home. So even if he's using alcohol to cope with his life, it's not like that has to be done at the most inappropriate times and most dangerous times imaginable, behind the wheel of a fucking death machine. It's just, I don't know why he slid this in here. It really feels like he's just kind of shrugging his shoulders like, it is what it is. So what? Like, that's just the entire tone of the tweets. He also did make another one more recently today after the ban and said that there were a lot of people experiencing joy at his downfall and the, ruining of his career. But I just really don't think that's the case. Like, this is purely the consequences of a really bad decision he made. I don't see a lot of people celebrating, like, happy to see him go. It's more so like, yeah, that sounds about right for doing something so stupid and so dangerous on stream. Like, it is sad to see that one awful decision did ruin his career, but it's one decision that I have legitimately no respect for. This isn't just like some whoops-a-daisy mistake that, everybody makes. This is the most preventable accident. The easiest whoops-a-daisy to ever avoid. Just don't drink and drive. It's hard to have empathy in a situation like this when drunk drivers kill so many people every single year. And drinking and driving is such a real, huge problem. So, like, it is sad because I do know of this player. I do know of their career. And to see it end like this is really upsetting. But it's not like it's undeserved. I don't know if it's like a permanent ban forever. It might not be. It might only be like a week or something. Like, there's no telling right now. It's indefinite. But this is a crime he committed. And a very serious one at that, and one that I have been very vocal about for many years, about my absolute disdain for drinking and driving, drunk drivers, operating a vehicle while distracted. That also includes texting and driving, by the way. Anything that keeps your attention off of the road and puts you and everyone else on the road at risk is something I think is ridiculously stupid and fucked up. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. You know those situations where someone was right about something and they always say like, I don't need to say I told you so, you learned your lesson, I'll be the bigger man here and not say I told you so? That's just such a load of dog shit. I'm 5'6", I'm not that big a man, so here's me saying I told you so. About like 6 months ago, maybe even longer, on stream, I went on a massive tirade about how the majority of those primitive building YouTube channels were fake. And I pulled up multiple videos to try and prove my point, and I was met with nothing but vitriol. People were calling me stupid, calling me wrong, calling me dumb idiot brain, like all kinds of insults about me not being right. Despite my evidence being pretty much irrefutable, I thought people just wanted to live in their delusion that their favorite primitive building YouTube channel was legitimate, but they're not. And a YouTuber named SunnyV2 posted a massive video that's done extremely well that most people have seen by now, which vindicates me, proving that the channels that I'm talking about were fake. There's only a couple real ones, the biggest being Primitive Technology, which I always said was real. It's the only real one that I know of, but I'm assuming there's others that I just haven't looked into enough. But the majority of them, the very popular ones, are fake. Primitive Technology Idea, Mr. Tifu, like all of these massive ones that sprout up out of nowhere, get 500 million views. They have like all of these crazy intricate things like water slides with giant giraffes and crocodile statues in there looking like a fucking mini golf course that they apparently make out of sticks and stones. All of those are fake, obviously. But no one wanted to believe me when I was trying to prove it, and now that Sunny's made a video on it, now everybody knows that they're fake, and people have apologized to me in Twitch chat for not believing me, and I accept your apology, but still, I told you so. Now let's go through the video and go through the evidence a little bit and get a little more in depth on it. Have you seen the video debunking those primitive building videos? I actually still haven't seen Sunny's video on it yet, but I also debunked those videos on stream, and I was met like I was trying to teach teriology. No one believed me. I tried debunking it on stream because I was telling people that most of them, almost all of them, are fake, and nobody fucking believed me until Sunny V2 posted his video on it. Now I've been vindicated. But yeah, I still haven't seen his video yet. He came out with real evidence and explanation. Man, suck the dirtiest part of my ass. I came at you with, voice crack, with real evidence and explanation, but you guys didn't want to hear it at the time. I brought up like 3 different videos showing the aftermath of primitive building videos where someone bought like 10 acres of property and there was like multiple locations where they made those like underground primitive swimming pools and shit, and you could actually see construction equipment, tire tracks and all of that. And you guys were like, no, those are just naturally occurring jungle tire tracks. Like, I came at you with evidence and you still didn't believe me.
Almost every single primitive building channel is underpinned by countless different lies, and we've got tons of evidence to prove it.
Goddamn right we do.
Now, we need to put an emphasis on the fact that this is a 500 million views per video. Users...
That channel name is so shameless, Mr. Tifu. Is it supposed to like capitalize off Tifu being a popular YouTuber in the algorithm? I'm actually not super familiar with this one. Was that the idea behind it?
Users continued to mention one name over and over, crediting him as legitimate amongst the sea of phonies. Primitive Technology.
Yep.
The 10.4 million subscriber channel, which is when going back to the beginning of these silent, relaxing videos, it becomes pretty obvious as to why they're credited.
If Sunny plays the same videos I played in my evidence, I'm gonna be tight.
Primitive Technology cuts no corners and shows how each stage of the construction is legit.
Yeah, Primitive Technology is real. Again, this follows the same format as everything else on the internet. Someone comes out, does something super impressive, legitimately, and a lot of other people will try and do it as quickly as possible to cut as many corners as possible to try and capitalize off it. It happens everywhere, so it's not like it's surprising that it happened with Primitive Technology. But yeah, he's legitimate. 100%.
Or blue.
And it's a weird blue colour. Why is it so blue? Probably because they're probably putting dye in or something. There's no reason for it to look so blue like that.
Are they really creating these structures out of mud and sticks? Well, when you do a little bit of research, the answer to this question is most certainly no. The best evidence for this is found when...
I mentioned this as well. In all of these videos making these elaborate, luxurious pools in the ground here out of nothing but sticks and elbow grease, they have like the bluest water of all time. And they're supposed to be getting this water from like nearby rivers or springs that they bring back to their location using like hollowed out logs and making a network out of that. But that's just a bunch of fucking baloney. So in the rest of the video, you'll see the cameraman even mentions that they just bring water themselves and put it there. And in another video that I brought up on stream, also mentioned in Sunny's video, it's mentioned that the water that's at those pools isn't even close by. They don't actually use logs or anything. There's even like PVC piping and stuff in order to help with it. But that is just absolutely not even close to being real in any sense.
Frame that in an 8-foot deep trench. Now, if they're digging this deep with sticks, how are they avoiding large rocks and potential tree roots from, you know, the massive line of trees seen just behind them? Are they being assisted by large machinery? Well,
no,
we'll get to
they're
that
just
in a
very
little bit,
strong.
but first, let's focus on the clip where a guy in a white t-shirt can be seen working on a project in the background. Yet, if
No, that's just their cameraman. He's also using sticks over there in order to whittle out just a little stubborn branch is all.
As the video would suggest. It is a large operation, as you may suspect, with a large team.
I'm shocked.
After he then offered to answer any questions we had about their channel, we attempted to figure out how many different construction sites before capturing over 8 minutes of footage with a drone. We'll refer to...
So you guys believe it when he puts this in his video? I pulled this exact fucking thing up in my rant on these things being fake. But now that he puts it in his video, you guys believe him? That is actually hurtful. That actually hurts my fucking feelings.
There's initially a clip where 8 different workers can be seen standing around a rectangular hole in the jungle, followed by another grainier clip from a far distance where somewhere between 7 and 10 people can be seen building a swimming pool. So
to further explain this clip, which is something I've talked about at length, a YouTube channel named Photo Expression flew a drone around an area where a lot of these primitive builds took place. A lot of pools and structures like that. And he saw a lot of the aftermath, which is just a ton of trash everywhere, cement bags, tire tracks, as well as pointing out inconsistencies such as the amount of people that'll get like to work on these. So as you just saw, like teams of 7 to 10 in some cases, maybe even more. The cameraman even mentions that there's never really less than a dozen people working on a build. And this photo expression video just shows a lot of it and giving you a lot of insight into where the builds are taking place and how they're being done.
Is when you compare his meticulous method of creating fire in the wild to the fire making of these Southeast Asian primitive channels. As mentioned previously, it becomes comical. They slap a couple of rocks together before beginning an explosive
Well, they just have
fire on
better
large logs
rocks.
with no kindling whatsoever. John Winnon draws a big circle and begins to dig it out. Only in the next frame, suddenly there's spray paint on the ground that they forgot to rub out. Additionally, on the wall of the hole, these long smooth cuts can be seen which are completely incomparable to the cuts being made by the stick.
No, he's
Well,
using a
there's
bigger stick
reason
for those.
Turns out
Obviously.
spray paint marks weren't the only thing that they forgot to rub out, as in the minutes that
Tire
follow,
tracks.
excavated tracks can be seen here,
Yep.
here, here, and here.
So now you guys believe these are real tire tracks? Interesting. Weird. You guys just think I'm some kind of big fucking bumbling idiot who doesn't know what fucking excavator tracks look like.
However, was that they forgot to take the actual excavator out of the top right hand corner. According to the email sent to us by the cameraman on one of these channels.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I pulled up that same video and even I didn't notice the actual excavator was there. Yeah, well, you know, I hit more times than I missed in my evidence. But that would have been a really compelling piece for me, I think, I'm not gonna lie.
The initial boring process, whilst incrementally we film the builders doing superficial works on the
I
whole.
would have never
The video
imagined
in
it
which
was
the excavator
this
can be seen in
big of
plain
an
sight,
industry,
then
though.
goes on to strangely display the collection of concrete from a river, which is the exact same clip reused from the previous video. Now, why would they reuse the same clip twice in 2 different videos? Well, it's because collecting concrete from a river is completely and utterly bogus. Concrete doesn't grow in a river, according to a civil engineer who had commented on one of these.
I will fully admit, I never really stopped to think about the gathering of concrete. To my stupid little reptile brain, I assumed that you could get something that resembled concrete using river minerals and dirt and mud and shit. I never realized how outrageous that was until Sunny V2's video on it, so I think that would have been a strong point for me to have made, but I was too stupid to make it, so I'm glad Sunny shed light on that, because it absolutely slipped by me. And I think it's important to note that even though it is clearly confirmed these are all fake except primitive technology and maybe a couple others, it's not going to affect them. People are still going to watch even knowing that because they just watch it for that comfort feeling like, oh, this is so satisfying. Oh, look at how cool that giraffe in the pool is. So it's not exactly going to hurt them, but it's at least nice that people will now finally know for sure that the shit is fake and stop trying to pretend that it's not. The WWE of primitive building. Yeah, honestly, at this point, I would go, like, full-blown showmanship here and just make it really entertaining. They should have storylines where, like, there's a rival builder, or, like, an evil construction man who comes by and tries to, like, tear their house down or something that they have to fight. Like, get real wild with it.
Has their own unique method for creating natural concrete. This channel's concrete is simply a mix of dirt and water, which, if you think about it for 2 seconds, doesn't create concrete and rather creates muddy water or mud, which is just dirt after the water dries. This other channel gets a bit more creative with it. Expression had stumbled upon various completed primitive builds, also showed that after these channels are finished building, the sites are simply left to rot. This video doesn't speak for every Southeast Asian primitive building channel, but in this particular case, rubbish was left everywhere, including, as you might guess, cement bags. The fact that the videos are fake isn't were attached together then used to siphon water from a river to the pool, only there was no river. Photo Expression found the exact site of this pool, then stated in his video that in reality, the closest water source was more than 6 kilometers away. Instead, he found a bunch of blue plastic piping attached to a tap in the ground. The funny part is any scene where you see them sourcing water from some magnificent waterfall or lake, they're actually going somewhere perhaps hundreds of kilometers away and pretending to take it back. The video in which Photo Expression...
This camera guy seems so nice. Like, he just seems like such a jolly guy. Just, like, actively making fun of them while still working for them. Well, that's a big I told you so moment for me there. Thank you, Sonny. I've been vindicated. In fact, I built 3 mansions already. My man. They hated him for telling the truth. Yeah, I was just ahead of my time. Like Galileo. If I had to guess, I'd say all of those fake primitive building channels are probably all owned by the same company who just outsources it to multiple channels to try and get the most juice for the squeeze, which is why you see so many like variations of the same name, like Primitive Technology Idea, Primitive Technology Life. Mr. Tifu's kind of an anomaly. That one kind of comes out of nowhere and getting real wild, but I really do think it's probably like one company that does it, which is why they're all so similar. I've been debating talking about this topic for the last couple of days, but it's such an awful situation I really didn't want to. I was hoping that it would have settled down by now, but it's only been getting more popular, so I figured I might as well at least discuss it before it gets fully out of control. Right now, the worst content creators on YouTube are getting millions of views and making thousands of dollars by following one disgusting, shameful trend. And I know that sounds like one of those old banner ads on porn sites. This ugly piece of shit's fucking hot moms in your area, and you can too. Doctors hate him. Click here to find out how. But unlike those ads, I'm not making this up or exaggerating. Right now, there are tons of degenerate loser scumbags that are trying to use the passing of Technoblade as a way of gaining subscribers and making lots of money, either by clickbaiting videos with Technoblade in the title, or by making 10 or 20 plus videos all about the passing of Technoblade in order to get the maximum juice for the squeeze from the AdSense. It's so disgusting and shameful. It's fucking vile. I'm certain all of you have heard by now, but just in case, Technoblade was a very large creator on YouTube. He had a massive audience and was a very influential and inspirational creator to a lot of people and channels. And unfortunately, he passed away recently. His father made a heartbreaking video going over the whole situation, and it's just been really sad. So obviously a lot of people on the internet have been mourning the loss of Technoblade. However, there's been some extremely twisted, sick fucks that have tried to use this situation as a way of financially gaining. It's like some actual villain shit. Like Mr. Krabs with dollar signs in his eyes once they saw that Technoblade passed. They immediately started making videos on it, clickbaiting him, and really trying their best to capitalize off the passing of an absolutely great person. I'm not going to show you very many of them because obviously a lot of it is just done for the attention, like the rage clicks. They just want to farm as many views off it as possible, so I'm only going to show a couple here. This first example comes from a channel named It's Owen, and of course this video they posted isn't real, it's just clickbait. And I was actually familiar with this channel before they posted this video, because this channel was notorious for dog shit clickbait. He'd constantly post things like, I met Mr. Beast and he was very mean to me, even spit on me, parentheses, very rude. Or, Mr. Beast forgot to stop recording and his wiener fell out, yucky. Oh, and then also some shit like, a fan asked PewDiePie for an autograph and ended up in the hospital because PewDiePie beat him within an inch of his life, parentheses, not nice at all. Just awful garbage. I have more respect for shit stains in a gas station urinal than I do for Owen, but at least there's a happy ending here, because Owen did get banned for this, and he's whining on Twitter about it right now. He checks in almost hourly to see if YouTube's decided to overturn their decision, and we can only pray they don't. Justice has at least been somewhat served with Owen being off the platform, but from what I understand, he actually has another account, or even a couple other accounts. Going back on his Twitter timeline, it seems like he has a side hustle of creating YouTube accounts, posting absolutely abominable clickbait on them in order to gain subscribers quickly, and then selling those accounts, as well as the play buttons associated with them. I will say though, I am a little bit skeptical of the Twitter account here because it only has 560 followers despite the YouTube channel having almost 4 million. But I could also see why it wouldn't have any followers since his content is only clickbait that people click on for 10 seconds and then leave. Even like 4-year-old toddler baby brains on autoplay. And then they'll just accidentally subscribe. So they wouldn't exactly follow him to Twitter. And he is having like a dialogue with YouTube, so I'm assuming this is the legitimate account. His newest post is also super embarrassing. It just says new bitch, with him pinching a girl's ass. I don't know how people get delusional enough like this to think that these pictures are cool. I guess in his head he thought this was pure epic style flex, but in reality he just looks really goofy and silly. He's wearing a fucking hat that says icon on it, despite no one knowing who he is. He is a faceless clickbaiter, and I wouldn't be surprised if this girl has no idea who he is. He just convinced her, like clickbaited her, into thinking that he was the brother of Napoleon Dynamite. But of course, Owen isn't alone in being this shameless. Yes, he was a massive hemorrhoid that YouTube has thankfully removed, but there's still plenty more plaguing the butthole of the platform. I'm not going to show many others, but there are a ton of other YouTubers that are making content just like Owen did that he got banned for, clickbaiting the passing of Technoblade. Now let me move on to the next big channel that I'd like to show you. This is Dream SMP Official, except it's not official, and it's just doing the best it can to monetize the passing of Technoblade. They have posted 25 Technoblade videos since his passing.
My heart goes out to his family and loved ones. Hug those that are close to you. Tell the ones that you love them.
That's the content that he's posting around the passing of Technoblade. A screenshot of Dream SMP member posts being read by text-to-speech, and he posts a video on it and monetizes it. He has made thousands of dollars from this over just the last 4 or 5 days. And I believe Microsoft Sam is entitled to at least a good portion of that because he's got text-to-speech working overtime on this shit. Posted 25 videos on the passing of Technoblade. And this is operated by one person whose name is Runalong. And they were confronted in Discord about it. This is confirmed to be run by Runalong because if you click the Twitter associated with his account, it goes to his Twitter and the Discord. So it is not actually owned and operated by Dream SMP. It is just someone that's piggybacking off it and profiting big time. So in a Discord interaction, a user says, why don't you have the charity link to the side? Like, look at this video by Techno. And they mention the feature where you can add fundraisers to videos, which immediately put a donation option for viewers, which is right to the side of the video. It's used by a lot of people. And when asked about this, Runalong says, people can donate with or without it. I'm still giving a portion of my money away. Going a bit deeper, he says that he'll provide screenshots as well when he receives it. To which they respond, but I have another question. Why so many videos about Techno? I counted 17, so this is probably like 4 hours old because he's already posted an additional 8 videos since this interaction. I understand it's important in breaking news, but 17 is so many. He says, the more I get, the more I can give back. And to which they respond, and the more goes into your own pocket too. Which is absolutely correct. Since he's only giving a portion away, the more videos he makes taking advantage of Techno's passing, which is such a fucked up thing to even say out loud, the more he does that, the more money he is making. And yeah, I suppose by extension, the more money he gives away to charity, assuming he even does that, which I highly doubt. But regardless, this is dog shit. Every person right now, YouTube commentators who have made 9 or 10 videos on Techno's passing, all of them are hiding behind this, I'm giving the money to charity though, so I'm a good guy thing. All of them are using it as a way of deflecting criticism, when in reality it's blatantly obvious all of them are vultures trying to use this situation as a way of gaining subscribers and engagement. That's just the pure, factual meat of it right there. There is no way of justifying making 9 or 10 or 25 videos on a tragic situation like the Technoblade situation. There's just no way of ever convincing me that what you're doing actually has a noble cause. There's one commentator in particular who's been in some hot water recently, being called out by a lot of different channels. I'm not going to show them because, again, mainly they do these things for attention and just cheap clicks, and plus I don't want anyone to go over and harass them or anything. But they've posted, I believe, 9 or 10, maybe even 11 videos all on Techno, and they have been trying to take this high road of all of the money that these are generating is going to charity. And then they gave an update saying, we've raised like $1,000 for charity thanks to these videos. But the videos have like, in total, like 3 million views. So bare minimum, that should be like 2.5 to 3K. So they're already being disingenuous with what they're actually making off the situation. All of them are using this as a way of milking a very great YouTuber's unfortunate passing. And they know it, the audience knows it, but they're trying their absolute best to spin it in a way that helps them sleep at night or doesn't make them look like an irredeemable piece of shit to their audience. As this was rendering, I think it's only fair that I mention that the YouTuber I'm referencing posted a video showing that they donated $3K to the charity in the Technoblade tribute. The videos actually earned about 2.7K, which he showed, and then he put in an extra 300 of his own money to get the 3K. And that's cool, that's good, money going to charity. But it doesn't at all change my opinion of him or what he was doing. It doesn't matter if you give every penny that those videos generate to a charity, because that's not the only way you're profiting from the situation. This commentary channel I just mentioned has gained 16,000 subscribers over the last 4 days, where usually they experience 1,000 subscribers per month. So in 4 days, they have 16x'd their normal monthly gain. That's fucking wild. What are you gonna do? Start donating subscribers to a charity as well to make up for it? You're not the good guy, no matter how hard you pretend to be. It's more than just profiting like actual dollars from AdSense. You have gained so many subscribers off of this situation. And even if all of the videos were not monetized, like if all of the Dream SMP videos weren't monetized, all 25 of them had no monetization at all, same with the commentary videos, even if none of them were monetized, you are still directly putting your mouth on the teats of this and milking it and capitalizing off of it. It's always great to celebrate a donation to a good cause, but that doesn't mean you have to celebrate the person that did it. Now, I want to make it clear before things get mixed up here, I don't think there's anything wrong with making a video on Technoblade, like a tribute to Technoblade, talking about them, going over what they meant to you, as well as just the internet as a whole. I think all of that's very positive and wholesome and can be great. And donating the money that those videos make through AdSense to charity is even better. But there is never a situation where you're gonna do that 8, 9, 10 times genuinely. Like, there's just no reason for it. That's milking it. That's taking advantage of it for your own personal gain. There's being respectful, and then there's being shameful. And it's very clear where most of these fall. Videos like what I just showed you from Dream SMP, from Owen, as well as touched on from commentators, where it's exceeding like this crazy amount of content all surrounding a tragedy, that's absolutely milking it and being disrespectful. And while we're already on this topic, there's another really awful trend that I want to bring up in this same general ballpark, and this happens with every celebrity passing ever on YouTube. There's always going to be those children that come from loveless, broken homes that'll make a video talking about why it's a good thing the celebrities died, or summoning that dead celebrity at 3 a.m., or they're in hell, burning in hell, all of that awful, disgusting shit. That's unfortunately been happening with Technoblade, and a lot of people have been posting that content all around the internet, and people have been sharing it in order to go to the video and leave hate messages, and that's exactly what they want from you. The reason those videos get made is for those hate messages in the comments. They're done in order to get quick views from people that are outraged by the content. They're doing it as outrage bait to farm engagement that way. So the best thing to do with that is completely ignore it. That's existed for a few years now in like a big way, and it's probably going to continue to exist, and the only thing you can do is not go over there to give them any sort of attention at all. It'll eventually just die out once they realize no one gives a fuck about them. They're faceless losers in real life, but online they can have some kind of presence by making people mad at them, and that attention is the only thing that gives them some level of comfort in life. It's sad, it's pathetic, but you have to just be strong enough to resist the temptation to insult them on the video, because by going to that video, giving them that view, giving them that comment, you're doing exactly what they want from you. So I just wanted to put that out there. I hate that shit, but you have to just ignore it. I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today with this awful trend going around on YouTube. And yeah, that's really about it. So yep. What's up everybody, it's Critical. I've mentioned this in the past, but I love to watch YouTube drama unfold. It's very entertaining and very pathetic to watch a bunch of grown man children go at each other and make exposed videos on one another. Oh, you know, he's got a small penis, it's real turbo small. iDubbbz big old small penis, real not, it's tiny stuff. And then there's going to be 3 videos on that. They stretch the link to 10 minutes or above to soak as much ad revenue out as possible. I enjoy it very much. It gives me a hoot. And recently I've kind of fallen behind on keeping up with the YouTube drama wave, so I decided to check in on YouTube's resident racist lunatic Joey Salads to see what he's up to. and I went to his vlog channel, and he did a really clever prank where he mailed piss to a bunch of YouTubers, including an 8-year-old boy, and I just thought it was a really clever idea that I really think we should watch together.
So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be mailing my urine to a list of YouTubers. Let's see. I got my urine. Take your penis out. Take the penis out.
In case you're unfamiliar with this troglodyte, this man who looks like Action Hank from Dexter's Lab is Joey Salads. I don't really need to give an introduction for him. I'm sure most of you know who he is. Just a YouTube prankster who fakes all of his shit and does a lot of sketchy shit. Now, this caricature of a man has just hatched an ingenious idea that not any 4-year-old could. He's gonna take his penis out and put his pee-pee in baggies and put it in the mailbox and send it to people. Wow, what a joke. It's fucking brilliant. Now, I don't know what it is about this man exactly, but he's just weird to watch. He just looks so uncomfortable in his own skin all the time. It's like he's a skin suit for a cockroach underneath and it just doesn't know how to operate it properly. He's just like this hollow vessel and it's just so strange.
Fucking stinks. It's good though, right?
Oh, hell yeah, it's good, bro. Smelly pee-pee rules. It's #1.
Yeah, I guess so.
First lucky guess is FaZe, bro. Next one is the FaZe Clan.
I like how his friend had to really sound that out, struggled through the first word. The first lucky guest is Fazrug. You see, I think the most troubling thing of this video isn't that Joey Salads is mailing piss to other YouTubers. It's that other people were on board and thought it was just a great idea too. You got a cameraman, you got this illiterate dude trying to help out. There's just a whole team behind this.
You should put a note in.
Joey Salad's piss.
So this middle part of the video is pretty much them just putting their collective heads together, trying to figure out how to put the bags of piss in the envelopes. Ooh, I took a physics class in middle school. I've got this covered, boys. No, but wait, I took woodworking. I'm in charge. You know, just a bunch of bullshit. And it's truly a Herculean task for them to accomplish this.
I don't know if you want to put a little sex note, because this is for Sniper Wolf.
Oh, great idea, bro. You're right. This one's going to a girl. They have vaginas. Make sure to say something about her pussy. Yeah, oh, you got a big old clitoris. I want to put my smooth sailing wiener on top of. You know, I'd like to just assume that this isn't really his urine, though, to be honest, because he's faked everything he's done on his channel. I don't see why this would be an exception, and especially just looking at his piss jugs, it's pretty fucking dark. So unless this man just never drinks water, I'm leaning towards it being fake urine. It looks like lemon drop shots in the jugs, and it probably tastes about the same as lemon drop shots. But you know what, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is where he draws the line. You know what? I will fake anything but my urine. I swear to God, I could go down in history as the worst fake prankster ever, but I will go down as a man who did not fake his urine jugs.
Ugh.
Holy shit, check out that magic trick. A douchebag spun a bag of urine. Are you not impressed? I like how he has to stop the operation just to play with his bag of piss a little bit. I also like how he looks at it really hard for a second just to confirm the authenticity of it. Yes, this is my pee-pee. I'm gonna need to take a swig of it though just to make sure it's my brand.
Tanner Brack. I don't want to butcher his name on TV, on camera, so.
I don't know his name. Tanner who?
Tanner.
Yeah, he doesn't want to butcher his name on camera. Meanwhile, he has butchered every other name on that entire fucking list. And then he starts to get a little offended. Tanner filled the mesh. Fuck, I didn't know I was gonna get quizzed on this, Joey. Fuck!
Bogarden Dick.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. One of the most common last names in all of America. Bogarden Dick.
See what you make me do, Joe? Butcher people's names when they watch it now.
You see what you make me do, Joey? You make me look so dumb in front of my internet friends. You know I didn't finish Hooked on Phonics.
Who's Jake Angeles?
Jake Angeles?
For 1 second, I thought he got a name right until he was corrected. He has genuinely not been able to read one of the names correctly yet. On camera. So Douche Tits McGee and his excited Oompa Loompa sidekick start shoveling the piss-filled envelopes into the mailbox and creating an awful Christmas jingle. And that's about all she wrote. You got Igor over there on the left, who's probably smuggled one of those piss-filled envelopes for himself to enjoy later. Just open it up and take a big old huff. To be honest, I actually feel bad insulting that guy because I'm actually kind of concerned he might have some type of mental deficiency, and if that is the case, I would feel extraordinarily bad, but for now, I'm just roping him into the same douche category as Joey Salads because that's how it is portrayed in this video, and I would like to reiterate just how awful that Christmas jingle is, but who knows, maybe it'll catch on. Maybe next Christmas we'll all be having a salad-themed Christmas get-together, we huddle around a fire, we chant that song, we ululate that jingle, and we open our piss-filled envelopes sent from Joey Salads, who climbed down our chimney and pissed right into our baggies and left it for us.
During a fan mail bid.
That's
now
it.
We go home and wait
For my
for the next
For our friends.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to their videos. If they show the piss, tell them who sent the piss.
Words very well spoken, Joey. Now, you've truly outdone yourself with this prank. It's absolutely amazing. It's nothing short of awe-inspiring. I can't wait for Joey Salad's next prank where he ejaculates on the heads of sleeping homeless people. Man, that'll just be great. Oh, goodness me, I think I've hatched an even better prank idea. Really turn it around on the master himself. What if all of us took a shit in a bowl, put it in a box, and sent it to Joey Salads? So that way when he gets it, there'll be shit everywhere and it'll smell like poopy. Whoa, we could call it a shitty salad surprise. Damn, what a great prank. Fuck you, Joey Salads. Now, I mentioned in the start of the video that he sent one of these piss envelopes to an 8-year-old boy. Well, here's that 8-year-old vlogging boy receiving that piss bag.
It looks like something's leaking. So, yeah. So when we opened it up, lo and behold,
Joey Salad's pee.
What?
Ew.
Happy birthday. It's just what you asked for. So yeah, they get his piss, and then they go on to explain that they're not upset about it because it got them more publicity and exposure because Scarce talked about it in a video. But the mom made sure to mention that it is actually illegal what Joey Salad just did there. And it truly is. You're not allowed to send piss to an 8-year-old contrary to popular belief. I know, right? What are the odds? It's surprising. What he did should have put him on a sex offenders list according to law. Now, I know most of you out there realize that a sex offenders list has been pretty fucked recently since people are getting put on it for just peeing in public or fucking tying their shoes within 5 miles of a middle school. But according to law, he should be on a sex offenders list now. And if nothing else, it's just fucking weird. This man made a conscious decision. Oh, here's an 8-year-old who vlogs. I'm gonna send him my piss. I don't like your vlogs, loser. Joey Salad's piss. Yeah, You like that? Got you good, huh? Great prank. What the fuck are you thinking, Joey Salads? I'm asking you directly. I hope you've watched this far. I want to know what your thought process is when you take piss and send it to an 8-year-old or you fake a racist prank. I'm just very curious as to what goes through that empty fucking cranium of yours. It's just baffling. But yeah, so this is Joey Salad's magnum opus of pranks. So I'm glad we got to watch it together. That's it. See ya. Happy New Year. I hope 2024 is already off to a wonderful start for each and every one of you, filled with smiles and laughs. And I believe it's my responsibility to give you something to frown about to kick this year off. And I guess frowning is the wrong word for it, because it's actually something very bittersweet. Tom Scott, one of the best and most beloved YouTubers on the platform, posted a video today stating that after a decade of weekly uploads, he's going to be taking a step back. It's not like a full-blown retirement because he still has other content that he will be putting out, but he won't be using his main channel the way he has been. And this is one of those moments where you hang his jersey in the rafters here on YouTube's Hall of Fame. He has really made history with his channel. And now he's reached the point in his life where he wants to wind it down and focus on his own happiness as opposed to constantly be thinking about work and producing the videos. And there's actually quite a bit I want to talk about on that subject, so let's go ahead and get into it.
This isn't the standard YouTuber burnout apology video, and it's not, oh, woe is me, I'm leaving forever. I'm going somewhere with this. Literally.
This is one of those super rare situations where an online content creator gracefully departs and moves on from the content that they've created for the last decade Typically, in a situation like this, with a channel as successful as Tom's, it ends with some fucking septic tank explosion where it's this massive shitstorm of controversy and scandal that leads to their channel just being abandoned or the creator leaves. Usually it's just standard protocol for a channel of this size to end with some kind of big mess, some hoopla. But not in this case. Tom Scott sails into the sunset under his own terms here. As he states right away, this isn't a burnout apology video. He's not trying to be woe is me, as he says. He's not trying to make himself seem like some kind of victim of anything. He's not out here with some kind of douchey send-off where he's like, you know, for too long now I've been suffering from success. I've got way too much money in my pocket and it's making my legs sore lugging it around, so I gotta take a step back. It's nothing like that. He is extraordinarily grateful for the 10 years he spent on the platform making this content, and he's taking a well-deserved, well-earned break from it all.
But I never missed a week. Sometimes a video would be a day or two early or late for one reason or another, but to my own satisfaction, which is ultimately the only thing I'm counting, there's been a video a week for 10 years. I never broke the streak.
He reflects on his humble beginnings. He says he's been trying to put content on the internet since 1999 and was never really sure if it would ever catch on. And then with YouTube, it did, clearly, in a huge way. Tom Scott has become one of the most, I'd say, influential educational channels on the entire platform, and has been for a long time now. His content has always been extremely high quality, obviously extremely consistent, posting once a week without fail for an entire decade. What an incredible achievement. And this is not easy content that he's been producing by any means. It's not Weenie Hut Jr. shit. He's not just out here flicking boogers onto YouTube and calling it a day with just throwaway bloat content. He is thoroughly researching interesting topics, going to the location and showcasing some unforgettable moments. He has lived an incredible life over the last 10 years, and YouTube has just been lucky and blessed to have him. He has invited us onto his bosom to suckle, and man, how tasty it has been. But this is a well-deserved break that he is taking here. I'll go ahead and let him explain why he's doing this.
I can't keep this up. This is my dream job and I have a lot of fun doing it. I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job, and it's a job that keeps getting bigger and more complicated, and I am so tired. There's nothing in my life right now except work. I could keep making bigger and better things, keep climbing the ladder, build a business, hire full-time employees, and end up as a manager. I could not do that. I could do less and be happier. So I'm taking a break.
I chopped it up a little bit here, but the message overall is a pretty clear one. Even though he has his dream job, it is still a job, and it's one that never ends. It's one that you have to constantly keep your foot on the gas. You can't start granny shifting. You gotta keep double clutching like you should, otherwise you might blow the welds off the fucking intake, as the great Dominic Toretto says. And Tom Scott has done this week after week after week for a decade, and understandably, he's tired. He's exhausted. He said he set out to do 10 years of that grind, and now that 10 years is up, and he's ready to take a breather from it all. He states that he had two options. One, going the traditional YouTuber businessman route, where he puts the suit on, he hires a bunch of miscellaneous teams to keep pouring gasoline on the fire, to keep that puppy burning and churning, to elevate the Tom Scott brand, and he'd end up as the manager. But he said that wasn't really an appealing option to him because he thinks he wouldn't like it, basically. So instead, he went with option 2, and in his words, do less and be happier. Which I think is a beautiful statement on it, because at the end of the day, what's more important than your own personal happiness? He has his dream job, but he is constantly thinking about work and only work. There's no way that that is a healthy or happy way for him to continue living the rest of his life. So now that he accomplished his initial goal of doing this for 10 years, he's ready to explore the next chapter of his life where he's not constantly in work mode like he has been. And I think that is perfectly understandable, it's admirable, and nobody deserves it more than Tom Scott.
Sometime, I don't know when or if I come back, but when I do, it won't be weekly, at least not in this format, not here. This probably isn't goodbye, like not forever. The podcaster host, Lateral, is still going out weekly. My newsletter's still going out. The Plus channel will probably return at some point. There'll likely be new technical difficulties episodes. But right now, I need to spend time with people I hold dear. I need there to be things in my life that are not work, and it's been years since that's been true.
Now, like I said, he hasn't fully wiped his ass with the cyberspace or anything. He hasn't fully washed his hands from it and vanished. He's still going to be making content in some capacity, like his podcast that he mentioned, as well as his newsletter. And he did even say that this channel, his main channel, will have more content on it potentially in the future. As he said, it's not goodbye forever, he doesn't think. It's just right now, after 10 years, he achieved his goal and he needs a break. He needs to focus on things that aren't this. He then concludes the video with a very sincere and heartfelt montage of some very special moments throughout his 10 years on YouTube. Now, I'd like to talk about this in a broader scale on YouTube as a whole, because Tom Scott's not the only channel of this size and this level of success we've seen kind of leave. And I'm only going to talk about the ones that did so on purpose, like they decided to, they weren't forced to. So I'm not going to be talking about like the scandalous ones that were put into an early grave. And I don't mean like they were assassinated. I don't mean like they stopped posting because they got fucking killed or something. Like, I meant more like Illuminati, the channel we recently talked about that completely collapsed and died because of a lot of horrible things that they were doing coming to light. And basically, controversies sunk the entire channel. That's obviously not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about situations like this where a YouTuber decides enough is enough, I'm ready to move on. Throughout the years on YouTube, there have been a lot of big channels that have, for one reason or another, decided to depart from the platform. So Tom Scott is the most recent one, but there have been many channels, even as of the last year, that are deciding to step away, like Tfue. 6 months ago, he announced that he was going to be stepping away from the internet. He did come back over the last month, but he took a 6-month hiatus. An OG example is Ray William Johnson, the most subscribed channel on the platform at one point in time, and while he was at the top of his game, announced, you know what, enough is enough, I'm fucking outski. So he peeled out, scooted sideways, and he took a long time off of the platform. Though I think there was a lot more behind the scenes that led to that. I don't know if that was entirely his own personal decision. I think there was a lot of weird things going on there, but it is another example of a massive YouTuber stepping away. Ray William Johnson also did come back pretty recently too, but the point is, a lot of these channels all share a couple things in common. One thing you're always going to see, the sentiment shared across all these channels, is that even though they have the dream job, and all of them recognize that what they do online is legitimately a wet dream of a profession, it does still have a very taxing effect on their mental health. Because it's constant. It doesn't stop. When you're an online content creator, not only do you need to consistently be there, you have to consistently do more and be better and elevate. Otherwise, you fall behind because it's the most competitive field on the planet because everyone has access to it. So you're competing with every single human being with a fucking internet connection that even has like a webcam or their phone. So a lot of content creators get stuck in the cycle of this pressure to improve and grow and innovate. And over time, it leads to them being miserable, and that leads to burnout, which I'm sure all of you have heard creators speak about time and time again. And I know that when YouTubers start talking on like the trials and tribulations of content creation, a lot of people will roll their eyes and get nauseous, because if you got lucky enough to have an internet career producing content, you have a lot of luxuries that aren't afforded to a normal, traditional job and someone working them. Most of the time you get to choose your own hours. You get to work on the projects you want to work on, and you don't have, you know, your fucking ass under someone else's thumb forcing you to do things you don't want to. So there are a lot more benefits to working an online career creating content than a traditional job. It is significantly different. But that doesn't mean that it's always easy. There are still some trials and tribulations that are there, and yes, are different than a traditional job, but it doesn't mean that it's all sunshine and rainbows. Someone like Tom Scott, producing this level of quality consistently every week for 10 years, clearly that is going to be the majority of his life. He doesn't have the time to spend doing other things that he'd want to do because he has to keep focusing on this. And eventually it reaches the point where it's no longer as much fun as it used to be, and you want to do other things, feeling trapped or suffocated by this, and eventually you reach the decision like, hey, let's take a breather. But online, a breather is sometimes an outright death sentence to your online career, which again is another thing that makes creators very hesitant to take any level of break for their own mental health, because it could spell disaster for them. And that's not even being exaggeratory. I talked about this during the Tfue announcement of his break. Streamers have this in a very big way. The most important part about being a successful top-tier streamer is being live every day, 5 to 10 hours a day, basically. Just being alive, being there is the most important part. I mentioned this last time, but I went from a daily streamer streaming between like 3 and 6 hours a day to taking a couple of breaks because it got to be a bit much. I did that daily grind of streaming for 5 straight years, and I averaged about like 14 to 15,000 viewers, and I had around 26,000 subs. This year, I think it was April, I'm already getting foggy on the months, but I took 4 days off, and I still had around 26,000 subs. When I came back after a 4-day break, I had 18,000 subs, about. I lost 8,000 subs from being away for 4 days, and I never got that back. If you take breaks in this field, that audience will go somewhere else to get their fix. They'll go somewhere else to get that, comfort streamer or comfort content, whatever. So it leads to people just trapping themselves into this never-ending grind, constantly just being there and trying to grow or do different things or innovate and whatever, and just never actually being happy anymore doing it. So it takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage to do what Tom Scott has done here, to recognize that it's time that he focuses on himself and his own mental well-being, and as he said, do less and be happier. So nothing but the best wishes for Tom Scott going forward. And I just wanted to touch on the overall subject of big YouTubers or content creators eventually taking steps back or winding down or even just outright moving on from their platform and content they've created. Just wanted to go into it a little bit here. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Yesterday I learned about an extremely tragic and weird situation involving the mysterious death of a 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber named Carlos Medeiros. On December 25th, he was reported missing. A big search ensued to try and find him, and eventually one of his childhood friends saw his body poking out through the dirt on a couple's property. Upon digging up the area, they found Carlos Medeiros' corpse. It was buried in a shallow grave on this couple's land. And when asked about why his body was buried there, they said that he had died during a night of cocaine-fueled sex and passed away during an orgasm while fucking the homeowner's sister. Must have been the biggest nut ever busted, because this one sent him to meet his maker, according to their story. Between the drugs and the sex, he had died in their home, and the couple said that they panicked, didn't know what to do, they were afraid to call an ambulance, so they came to the conclusion that it would be best to just bury his body in their yard, which is an unhinged thought process. But obviously, this is a little suspicious. This is one of those smells that smells smelly. It just doesn't make any sense. How could not one but two people, multiple sentient human beings, reach this awful idea? It makes them look extremely guilty if they're truly innocent of no foul play. Why would they think to bury this body instead of just calling authorities to report what happened? It doesn't add up, especially when you consider that they had previously lied about this whole situation. Initially, they said that Carlos Medeiros left their house, and they had no idea where he was, and they had even allegedly made a social media post saying that they've got to find Carlos Medeiros. Come on, let's all find Carlos Medeiros. We gotta get him back, knowing full well they had buried him in their property. So that just, there's something not right there. This is like a plot line out of LA Noire. So it's a really fucking wild story, and there's actually more to it that I went over on stream, so I'm gonna play you those clips now. There was a YouTuber who was buried in a backyard. Oh, you're talking about the Brazilian YouTuber, right? Hold on, I'll pull that up in a second because that was kind of crazy. Let me send a quick text. 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber found in neighbor's backyard. It was Carlos Medeiros. The body of a 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber has been found buried in the backyard of some of his neighbors. He was reported missing on Christmas Day after he failed to return home for dinner with friends who later said that he had left their home late at night. Medeiros' family searched hospitals and woods until Saturday. Someone saw a mound of dirt in the house of this couple he had visited for the holidays. They went in and saw my brother's t-shirt showing in the dirt. They called the police, who went there and found him buried. So, here's their defense. The couple who owned the home claimed that the influencer died while doing drugs and having sex with Caroline's sister. The couple's version is this. They buried him because they didn't know what to do with the body. That is the most dog shit defense I've ever heard What do you mean you buried him because you didn't know what to do with the body? You just call the police. That's nobody's first instinct. To bury a body is such an incredible time commitment. Like, there's no way that was just impulsively done. It's not like, alright, just quickly throw him in this fucking, grave we made. This is absolutely seeming like they killed him and tried to hide the body. Poorly, in a shallow grave. Because of the drugs, assuming it wasn't murder. Yeah, well, I don't think they've ran a toxicology report or anything yet. I think it's still too new. But they're saying that he allegedly had an overdose while taking Caroline's sister to have sex in the bathroom. At the moment he was having an orgasm, he felt unwell and fell dead. Which I don't believe for a fucking second. Because, I would believe it if they didn't bury his goddamn body in their garden. Also, if that is how he died, what a crazy way of going out. That is a rock star's death right there. Man's out there fucking boofing meth, all kinds of shit. Making a cocktail of ketamine, all kinds of wild shit. Has sex and dies during an orgasm. What a way to go to Valhalla. Merry fucking Christmas, I guess. I guess so. But I don't believe that story. I really don't. If the report indicates that his death was accidental, the couple will be charged with concealing a corpse. If it is proven that he is murdered, the man and the woman will be charged with homicide. Simple enough. The Post reported that the couple turned themselves in to authorities on Sunday. Now an autopsy will determine the cause of death. However, police said that they found evidence of stab wounds. Strangulation, or gunshots on the body. I think they meant found no evidence. I think that's what they meant to say. Because that reads as though, this is an open and shut case of not being a drug-related death. There was gunshots on the body, but it turned out what actually killed him was the weed he smoked 2 hours earlier. Gunshots were circumstantial. Not significant. Or is not a typo. I think this has to be a typo here. I'll go to another source. That really feels like a fucking typo. Yeah, let's go to this one. Oh, fuck, it's the Daily Mail. They probably just copy and pasted this article. This one's saying that they're claiming that he took cocaine and had a heart attack while fucking. And they said that they were afraid of calling an ambulance. This is where they found the body. This was the grave they dug for him, I guess. The couple had initially lied and said that Medeiros left their home after dinner before later confessing to a different story. This is baloney! What a load of fucking fish paste! He didn't die from cocaine and sex. I don't believe this for a second. Also, these ads are nuts. These ads are going fucking insano style. Man. All this inundation with ads will put you in an early grave. Good God, what an eyesore. They also made a social media post asking the public for help finding Medeiros. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. There's no way, there is no sensible couple that would bury a body of someone that just died in their home while having sex with their sister. That's already wild. And there is no way that they would start lying about it and then making social media posts. There's some fishiness afoot. Civil Police Chief Louis Faria told G1 that the incident is being investigated as a homicide committed by an unknown perpetrator. Sounds about right. Okay, yeah, it was a typo. During the search for the firefighters, according to a police report, Medeiros' body did not display any signs of violence. The house was set on fire. What? The house was set on fire by neighbors, but no arrests have been made. What? Wait, what? What is happening in this story? It's like an episode of CSI that just keeps going. So their house got set on fire? Residents in the Brazilian town set fire to the home where the body of the influencer was found buried. Jeepers creepers, Jiminy Christmas! Mob justice. Yeah, that's what it seems like. It reminds me of the second Halloween movie, Evil Dies Tonight. And then they just torched it. Imagine the evidence destroyed in that fire, though. Yeah, it's not a very well thought out plan. Look down, they're only charged with concealing a corpse. Yeah, we already covered that. Well, they will be charged with concealing a corpse if it was accidental, or if it's ruled, like after the autopsy, that he died from a heart attack from cocaine. Then my brain just had one of those like record scratch moments where everything just went foggy. Right now, it's just looking at concealing a corpse. If it was accidental and his death was a heart attack from cocaine. But if it turns out they killed him, obviously they're going to be charged with murder. It'd be so much less suspicious if they didn't burn the fucking house. Well, no, the family didn't burn the house. The community did. Assuming that there was foul play afoot here. They hid the body and then lied. And then made a social media post like, where is he? We gotta find him. When he was in their backyard. And they're lying about that too. Oh, interesting. So you're claiming that the couple burnt the house down to hide further evidence. It wasn't the community. Oh, an interesting theory. That seems like a really drastic step to take. When they could have just scrubbed it all with bleach. Yeah, but they did just bury a body in their backyard. Yeah, that is also pretty drastic. True, true. Hey asshole, I've got 2 important questions for you. How far would you go for a sponsorship? And how far would you go for YouTube views? Would you crash a plane? Would you commit a felony? Huh? If your answer to that question is no, then you're a pussy and a coward. Take it from my man Trevor, who recently possibly crashed his plane on purpose for the sake of a viral YouTube video, which was also a sponsorship deal. It's a pretty wild story and one that I've been following actively since the day it was posted, which was about 13 days ago now. So just to break it down, I'll go ahead and play some footage quickly. An extreme YouTuber named Trevor, who's known for doing extreme shit like piloting, parachuting, skateboarding. I swear to God, this dude will finger blast your girlfriend while hitting a kickflip. He recently posted a video called I Crashed My Plane, and in the video he takes his friend's ashes and says he's going to spread them over his favorite mountains, but while on the flight, something goes awry. The engine stalls and he immediately abandons ship and just bails out of the plane. It honestly looks like in a video game when you press the wrong button when piloting, you just like accidentally jump out. And then he makes sure to get his GoPro and selfie stick ready so he gets some awesome footage of him skydiving basically from the plane that is inevitably going to crash. And while watching this, it seems like a scene right out of the Power Rangers movie from the early 2000s with Ivan Ooze, where the Rangers skydive, but they're hitting like all these gnarly tricks on a surfboard. That's the exact same vibe I got from this part. And then he parachutes, he lands, and then he hikes up to the crashed plane to observe the wreckage. And you can see it's completely totaled, it crashed into the side of the mountain, and then he's just kind of talking about it and then hikes back to civilization. Now I watched this on stream last night, that's twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day, come stop by, it's the only stream guaranteed to get you laid. I'll put a link in the description. And while watching it with chat, we were just kind of going over everything, and then I watched a video that kind of talks about all of the things that are wrong with it. I'm no pilot, I'm really fucking dumb when it comes to aircrafts and everything, but there's a lot wrong with the video that the actual pilots have pointed out, and a couple of them that I'd like to just mention right away is almost no pilot flies with a parachute. That is very alarming for most pilots to see, apparently. And even he himself never flies with a parachute. In all of his other videos, he's never wearing one while piloting. He also doesn't really try to do anything to solve the problem when it stalls. It also stalls at a very convenient cruising altitude. And instead of trying to actually fix the problem, he just immediately bails out. And as another YouTuber pointed out, it's very suspicious that while something has gone wrong with the engine, we never see inside of the cockpit. All the cameras, like there's 12 cameras on this fucking thing. It's like a goddamn complete 360 video basically of all the camera coverage, but not a single time while the engine is apparently malfunctioning do we see anything in the cockpit. We only get the outside exterior shots of him about to jump out. So that was another very suspicious thing. A couple other pilots pointed out weird things that they noticed in the cockpit itself before everything goes wrong, and just so many things that make this video very suspicious. Seeing the YouTuber crash the plane for views? Yeah! I actually saw that the day he posted it. Someone sent me it in an email. Yeah, his name's Trevor Jacobs, the guy who crashed this plane. He still got it up, too. Oh, he turned off comments. You coward. Oh, you blew it, Trevor. You blew it. Yeah, so this dude I mean, I'll let it play.
Out and engine out.
Thanks for some bees. So, to break it down, well, you know, let me just let it play and then we can go over it. I watched this the day it was posted, though. I was on the forefront of this drama. Why, though? There's a couple theories. Most people think he did it just for the sponsorship, since it's a Ridge Wallet sponsorship. So he wanted it to have good views, so that way he'd get other sponsorships from them. Like, oh, look at how well this video performed for us. That's like the leading theory. But then the other theories is just wanting the attention. That insatiable appetite for some updoots.
What's happening? How's it going? My name's Trevor Jacob. Super grateful he'll be joining us.
Says in the video the engine fails. Okay, so I can already see people coming in here like, no, Charlie, this is completely legitimate. So let's go over a couple of things, and I'll play the corresponding clips. So it's around right here, where the engine stalls. Everything's gone wrong. Catastrophes happened. Every pilot's worst nightmare, next to like getting hit by an anti-air missile. And his first instinct is to jump out of the plane. He doesn't try and fix anything. He literally just leaps immediately. Which is quite literally, from what I understand, the last thing anyone should ever do as a pilot. There's a whole checklist of things they do before even considering this. And also, no pilots fly with a parachute normally. And neither does this guy. He only flew with a parachute in this video and this video alone. All the other videos with him piloting a plane, he is not wearing a parachute. I love the way he exits the plane, though. And luckily it stalled at a nice cruising altitude. Dropping tilted towers. Yeah. Another thing a lot of people pointed out is while he's falling, you can see a ton of places that he could have potentially landed this plane. I'm not a pilot, so the reason I never even bothered talking about it is because I don't know fuck all about it. There were people a lot smarter than me that really dissected this and pointed out all of the bullshit. And this is a felony, crashing a plane on purpose. This is a really big deal. So obviously it generated a lot of waves in the actual community of pilots. So again, he never wore a parachute when piloting any of the other planes that he has flown in, yet he claims that he always wears one, which is just a blatant lie.
That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute.
Which he doesn't. Service. Yep. So this was obviously a big deal. I saw it when it happened. But there are so many things wrong with this. There's almost no realm where this is legitimate. Unless, of course, he quite honestly is the worst pilot to ever live, I suppose.
So Trevor's airplane that you normally see him flying in,
with no parachute,
red and white experimental airplane with the tail number, you can tell like it's very obvious that it's a different plane.
Guy jumped out of his airplane like he reached the map limit.
You can clearly see
cute.
the registration. We've got Santa Barbara and Santa Ynez.
Man, he's so lucky it didn't just miss the mountains and crash into a town. Like, holy fuck.
And then it does seem like the numbers have been painted over or obscured in some way, though, because you can never get a clear.
Why would that help his case, though?
See what the numbers actually say.
If you can't see the numbers, why is that helpful to him? Because they can't track the flight.
Where's your paraglider?
But how does that help them if they can't track the flight? Can't they just watch this and pretty much plot the flight like this YouTuber did? I don't see how it's not. I don't see that how it helps them though. For no room for speculate. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. I suppose. It just feels stupid, because if he's going to film this whole thing, he should obviously know that they can find his course. He shows him leaving the airport, and, like, that's probably... If 4chan can find Shia LaBeouf's flag in the middle of fucking nowhere by airplane routes and constellations, I'm sure the FAA could probably figure out where this dumb asshole was going, and what mountains he crashed into, considering there was only 2 possible locations nearby.
So if we take a look at the
oh my god,
flight,
what am I looking at?
Have right here,
fuck?
He said that his destination.
Oh my god, Jesus, fuck.
Up here. So this is where he started. This is there.
We're in the mainframe.
I felt like he needed to say something. A lot of other people have questions too.
That's another thing I noticed. The actual pilot community is, for some reason, like the most respectful and nicest community of all time that I've ever seen on the internet. Like, in the comments before he disabled them, all the pilots that knew this was bullshit, they were like, well, there's a lot of inconsistencies with what I'm seeing here. I'd like to trust you, and I think against my better judgment I will, but here's everything that's clearly wrong about everything here. And even this guy's video, which is basically an exposed video, amounts to him just saying, like, yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's probably just, about a lot of weird things happening. Yeah, plain people just seem super nice. And this exposed video is so big brain, I couldn't even understand half of the things he used to debunk the bullshit. For me, I knew it was garbage when someone sent it to me, and the first thing the dude did was just bail out of the plane like it was fucking GTA. He tried no troubleshooting at all from a cruising altitude where he had plenty of time to at least try and like restart the engine or like glide it to a landing nearby or anything. He's just like, yep, I'm fucking out. Peace. And then he has also one of the worst actors I've seen in a minute when he's like hiking through the place. He's like, freaking, oh my gosh, the freaking universe just saved me. The freaking universe is so good. This is why I always freaking parachute. I wonder if he's actually going to say anything about this at any point. I would imagine probably not, but he's kept the video up, so I wonder what's going to come from it. Again, it's a serious crime, like a very serious crime. Low-key terrorist attack. I mean, it is, yeah, not super wrong. He just bails out of a plane and lets it crash. It could have crashed anywhere. He had no control over where that thing was going to crash, nor who was in the area nearby. And as we just saw in the last video, there's like a whole town that's not far from these mountains. And by not far, I mean they're literally right next to these mountains. Now, I didn't mention this on stream, but it's something I thought of right after ending stream. If this video didn't have the plane crash, then what was the purpose of the video? It's basically just a video of a guy flying his plane and then landing it. I guess the draw of the video could have been spreading his friend's ashes, but that's a very personal thing and not exactly like a viral piece of content. And Trevor's channel is full of nothing but extreme moments. Like all of his piloting ones have like scary stories or taking people up that are very afraid, and it's all very like exciting stuff. Whereas if this video didn't have the plane crash, it's literally just him flying and then landing. And this has a sponsor on it. Sponsors typically want to be on a piece of content they're confident would perform well. A video where Trevor just flies and lands isn't exactly going to be something that really fucking pops off in the algorithm or anything like that. But a plane crash, well, that has the potential to really get wacky, and especially for a sponsorship, it'd be something they'd be confident in doing well. And I'm sure Trevor would have come up with a plan to make the content more exciting, considering all of his other content is, like, over the top. Whereas this one would have just been flying and landing. So it just seems really out of character, and there could be merit to that argument where, because it was a sponsorship, Trevor felt like he needed to do something bigger, so he came up with this plan of crashing the plane. Again, all of this could be completely genuine. Maybe all of this is real, the plane really malfunctioned, there was no saving it, so he bailed out. But with everything pointed out by the actual pilots in the community, as well as everything they were able to uncover, it seems unlikely. It seems more like this was a stunt to generate views and interest in his channel and content, which is pretty fucked up if that is the case. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. So yeah. What better way to kick off the new year like looking backwards to the magical year of 2021? Let's take you back to the past to talk about a man who loved ass and cupcakes. I'm talking about EDP445. For those that don't remember, EDP445 was a massive YouTuber who in early 2021 got caught by a group of predator hunters for trying to have sex with a child. He got Chris Hansened and then recorded at the scene of the crime, where he defended himself by saying he wasn't actually there to fuck a child, he was just there for some cupcakes. And that kind of became his entire legacy. He's like the cupcake demon. Kind of like how the boogeyman was invented to scare kids into eating their vegetables. EDP is that cryptid, but for cupcakes. Like, hey, you better finish that cupcake. Your grandmother worked hard on it. If you don't, EDP's gonna climb through your window tonight and talk to you about the Eagles or some shit. So his whole thing now is he's been disgraced and banned everywhere on the internet. And I can't even begin to tell you the entire lore. This is probably one of the wildest stories I've ever actually seen in real time on YouTube. It just had so many twists and turns. There's a fucking crazy chapter in this whole thing where EDP sent a picture of his poop in a toilet to the kid. He like said, I ate a greasy pizza and took a fat shit, and then dropped a picture of his shit in the toilet bowl to them. It was a nutty ride. But anyway, since then, it's been radio silence for about 8 months. No one's really known what's happened to him. There's been tons of rumors, of course, that would start like he's in jail, or, you know, he's running for governor now, or he went to space and now he's a space pedophile, you know, just all kinds of things with no evidence. And last night on stream, chat made me aware of a new video that had an update with accurate information and a breakdown of the EDP story and where he is today. So I watched it last night on stream. That's twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day. I'd love to see you there. I'll put the link in the description. Just please come on, swing by. I'm probably streaming right now. So I'll go ahead and play that for you now, and then I'm going to go over a bit more afterwards because I've done a little more research this morning on the situation. But just be aware that in the clips here, last night was New Year's, so there's a lot of fireworks going off in the background, so that's that banging that you keep hearing. Chat kept thinking I was kicking my desk, which confuses me because it's not like my desk is made out of nitroglycerin. It's not going to make like that kind of massive bang. So yeah, just a quick heads up there. The EDP445 video we're watching comes from YouTuber SunnyV2, who did a great job of researching the topic and getting all of the information out there. Okay, let's check on the EDP situation. Apparently he got arrested and went to jail, but this would be the first I've heard of that. So let's see.
EDP445 has been fired from 3 different jobs over the last couple of weeks as a result of people exposing his employment to TikTok.
What? Wait, really? Hold on, I didn't get a chance to read that Reddit thread. Did he actually try... Did he actually try and work at Chuck E. Cheese? There's no chance. Again, for those that don't know, EDP was the YouTuber who got exposed for being a pedophile or whatever, talking to kids and shit. He's most known for like the fist bump he tried to get from the predator catchers, as well as saying he was just there for a cupcake, even though there's like tons and tons of DMs of him confirming he was going to go there to try and fuck a kid. And then apparently now he's been fired 3 times, and one of the places was Chuck E. Cheese. I genuinely don't believe that.
From a few different properties, and he's now living out of a suitcase in a couple of unconventional crappy locations.
He had like 3 million subs. How is he out of money?
Update in the EDP445 tragedy is that
did he give it all to a 13-year-old or something?
One of his former YouTube 445 was caught in 4K on his way to pick up a cupcake. The topic was covered by almost everyone in the commentary community.
I'm sure by now many of you. Hey, let's go! EDP445 situation.
Creators who supported him in the past, such as Some Ordinary Gamers, would
let's
upload
go!
a video titled
We did that on stream.
Needs to be arrested immediately.
That was a wild
Why
stream.
has EDP been dropping hard? Because EDP is an individual that actually got Chris Hansen.
And after it was revealed of his banning, EDP was exactly 30 years old.
I like how it's being called the cupcake event.
When he was 19 years old. So the 179 million views deleted in the process meant that his entire portfolio of work completed in his 20s, 10 plus years worth of labor, was wiped out quite literally overnight. One mistake was all it took for YouTube to decide that EDP445...
It wasn't one mistake though, right? As he mentioned, it was a history of mistakes, but this was the biggest. Charlie from 24 Hours in the Future. I decided to look into the other cases because, as mentioned in the video, there was a lot of previous allegations, even before this one, of EDP engaging with minors in inappropriate manner. So I looked into all of those, and for about a full year, a lot of evidence was surfacing that EDP kept flirting with and trying to hook up with underage fans. But somehow, for all of 2020, it all kind of flew under the radar and wasn't made a big deal. And it's not because he did a good job of defending himself, like his defense wasn't bulletproof or anything. He's no Saul Goodman. When it was brought to light a few times during live streams, all he said was, a bunch of no-life, no-pussy-getting motherfuckers kept pretending to be girls, and my dumb ass fell for it. And that's it. Like, that's how he brushed it off. He basically just confirmed, like, yep, I've been talking to people I believed were underage girls. And then that was it. That's where it stopped. So I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger deal before this investigation, but this was definitely the most thorough with the most evidence and actually going there in person and catching him in 4K. But I'm just shocked that it took this long with all of these allegations out there. So, as mentioned in the video, it was not just this one mistake. He had an entire history of doing this kind of shit.
Vimeo account was deleted, another income stream had gone up in smoke. EDP445 then attempted to switch to Facebook. However, after gaining 6,000 followers...
Yeah, so that was real? That was really his page?
The same story over on Instagram.
Someone told us... Well, not someone. A bunch of people told us he made a Facebook page after the cupcake event. And I didn't believe it, because when you went to the Facebook page, like, one of the only things there was, like... what was it again? It was... Oh, God damn it. We watched the video. It was some, like, really goofy video. I think it was even just talking about football or something, and then he casually mentioned he wasn't a pedophile while talking about football. He's like, yeah, the Eagles are going to go all the way this year, not a pedophile. Yeah, I just really have a whole lot of faith in the Eagles. Where they're going to fly. I thought for sure that was like a joke Facebook page, but I guess it's real? Yeah, no, that was after Cupcake event. So, on the EDP timeline, there's BC, which is before Cupcake, and then AC after Cupcake, and this was AC with the Facebook page. It really seemed fake, but I guess not.
He planned on making his own website to which he would continue posting.
That was real too?
EDP445 announced over on Facebook that he will be making his grand return to the internet with his own website to return to his old video.
Man, EDP445.com is coming soon. Been about like a week, maybe 2
No
weeks
fucking way. That was
EDP445.
Again. So we've been in this lore for a minute, playing in the pig pen with all this exposition here. In real time. The website, I also was told, was previous clips from older videos where he mentioned wanting to start a website. This was not after the Cupcake tragedy. But I guess that was inaccurate. So he really, after getting banned everywhere, tried to make the EDP website. I don't know what the fuck would be on there besides, like, I don't know, baking recipes or some shit and then talking about the Eagles. But, man, my God. I guess all of that was real, and I was making fun of people who told me about it, saying, like, you're too gullible. No, I'm the idiot. Oh, yeah, I guess he could post shit pictures on his website, too, which is cool. Kind of like a new modern-day Rate My Poo, if anyone remembers that from the early internet. Rate My Poo was kind of lit. It was just this community project where a bunch of people would take pictures of their shit in a toilet bowl, and then you'd have a star system and give it a 1 out of 10. And then you'd get to the next piece of poop. It was pretty cool. That was big back in the Gears of War day. People would often, like, disguise the Rate My Poo link as something else and send it to people in the community to get them to rate shit pics.
In spite of how much of a scumbag EDP445 truly was, you have to give him credit for sheer determination, because he then began to upload videos on another third-party website called Big TV, where his account would be met with the same fate. It was banned.
What is
he wrote, for some reason, my channel was deleted. I don't have a clue what's going on. I didn't violate any guideline. Can you please tell me what's going on? EDP.
That just sounds like some kind of student server. Like a university project.
From each and every Fives Lift profile.
Bro went from wanting cupcakes to driving for Lyft.
And his position.
God damn, man. Why? Like, even after all of this, he is still taking these pictures. This looks like a predator. Why? Just take a normal fucking picture.
Driving for Lyft.
And his position as a driver would subsequently be removed by the company. The situation would promote Reddit discussion, with one post stating EDP as a Lyft driver, how the mighty have fallen, which received commenting to a very basic unconfirmed source. EDP also apparently applied a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, so that is definitely a lie.
Didn't seem to get the position. EDP445
so that was definitely a fucking lie.
Make money online or in. The strange part about this is that when you try and search the court register from the Reddit post by typing in his name, Bryant Moreland, it now states that there are no results found, possibly indicating that EDP445's name change has been successful and he's no longer.
Oh my God.
Moreland.
As you can see,
he could be anywhere now.
Moreland Bryant. Submit. No results.
He could be anyone.
The problem with this, as outlined by the EDP445 subreddit,
imagine he just changed his name to like
spot. This idiot
Borland Myrant.
He'll be spotted everywhere no matter
constant harassment the property owner has been getting.
Since then, EDP has been living out of a suitcase at various hotels. However, even then, his detractors have been going around trying to get him kicked out of wherever he happens.
How are they finding him?
Everyone in here.
What?
I will be more than happy to let them know. Thank you very much.
It's like when Shia LaBeouf put a flag in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, and people on 4chan found it using star constellations and airplane routes. They're finding EDP in his suitcase across the country. A global game of Where's Waldo. They're passing out flyers and shit. Oh my god.
Less than a month ago, on the 3rd of December 2021, he'd uploaded a video titled "Is EDP445 in Jail?" In this video, Felipe explained that while out having dinner, he'd get a call from a private number stating that it was EDP445 who was being held at the Henderson, Nevada Detention Center.
So the third time I picked up, I was like, hello? And it said, yes, because I was like, I was just curious to see, like, holy shit, like, he got arrested, like, wow,
The issue is the only evidence that he's able to provide is 4 no caller ID calls on his iPhone, which isn't exactly rock solid evidence to say the least, and Felipe's character is suspect at best. He only gets views when he talks about EDP445, and without EDP on the internet to defend himself, anyone can say anything. Additionally, if EDP did successfully change where Henderson is, Kern County, which is where Bakersfield is, and Manatee County, which is where Bradenton, Florida is, which said that he was connected to online. No Bryant Moreland is in any of those prisons. In the end, it doesn't really...
That was pretty fucking interesting. Jesus. Yeah, I think there's a 0% chance he's in jail for what it's worth. Almost every single time when there's like a vigilante predator hunter that exposes a predator, the law enforcement throws out the case pretty much on the spot. The shit very rarely leads to like incarceration for the people that they catch. It's only in really rare circumstances. Like, even that PlayStation guy that got fired from PlayStation for being outed, he's not arrested or anything. But, I mean, even still, it worked really well here. EDP lost every platform that he could use to prey on children, so overall, net positive. Even if he's not in jail, like the video mentioned at the end, his life is kind of like a perpetual fucking jail, because people are still hunting him, I suppose. Still locating him. So, where does that put us in the Eat the Pussy 445 universe? Where is he now? What's true and what's false? From everything I've been able to gather online, what's true is he has not been able to hold a job because people keep making the companies aware of his past, so they let him go. He has been evicted from the places he's tried to stay. He is struggling with money, which absolutely blows my mind, because at 2 million subs, and the amount of money that he'd be making at 2 million subs, he should have been set for life, so he must have a problem with spending money. Even though a lot of his content would get demonetized, he'd still have plenty, because demonetized content still makes money, and it's not negligible amounts of money. So those are all true. What is also true is he attempted to change his name, but what's unknown is whether or not that was successful. It seems like his name change has been successful, however, can't confirm nor deny that. And what also seems to be false is the claim that he's in jail. There's no real evidence to say that he's in jail, it just sounds made up like the Tooth Fairy or some shit. The only source that says that is that YouTuber, and as mentioned in the video, he has incentive to like make EDP content and say things like that because it gets him views, so it's not the most reliable, and he didn't provide very good evidence or proof for it. It is also true he's been banned on every platform the internet has ever had, it seems. He's tried everywhere, so he's banned on like Facebook, Instagram, 3Speak, Cameo, fucking any website you could possibly imagine he's banned from. Club Penguin, Wizard 101, Discord, probably. I mean, God only knows. He's tried everywhere in order to try and get back on the internet, and it hasn't worked at all. Every platform immediately gets rid of him. So yeah, that's the full update on the Eat the Pussy 445 story. I just wanted to revisit this since this video was recently posted, and it's a story we followed from the very get-go. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. It's time once again for me to hop into the swamp and talk about one of the grossest bits of drama YouTube has seen in quite some time, with the EDP445 situation. Last week I made a whole video going over everything, no stone left unturned. I was putting my cock into every briefcase full of information I could find, and now today, only a week later, a lot more has happened, and there's a lot of things that I'd like to follow up on and kind of update, because I streamed all of this, and if you missed the stream, you fucked up, big mistake, you're missing out. And so when I did that, it was still like a developing story, and now we're reaching like the conclusion here, the end of the manga. So I just wanted to go over this because it is a crazy story. The EDP445 situation is like going to a water park, but all of the water has been exchanged for sewage instead. It's fucking gross and yucky. but it's also kind of a wild ride. Before I get into it though, there's something I want to mention. It's unrelated to all this. Today I'm doing a big charity stream for a charity I'm very passionate about called Cure Rare Disease. It's going to be a massive art stream, so if you want to see more masterpieces like this being made for charity, please tune in. It's at twitch.tv/moistcritical. It'll be going on when this video goes up and will be happening for most of the night, so please feel free to stop by. The link's in the description. I'll just hit you real quick with a brief plot summary here. EDP445 was a massive YouTuber who got Chris Hansened by another group online called Predator Poachers. They pretended to be a 13-year-old girl who hit up EDP, and then the conversation got all sexual, and eventually they got him to try and meet with a 13-year-old girl, and that's when they really caught him in 4K. And there's a lot more to it, obviously. Like, there's even an entire saga here in the anime where EDP sent pictures of his shit, his actual shit in a toilet bowl. He sent pictures of that to the 13-year-old girl. Not that that's like super crucial in the story or anything. Like, you know, the FBI is not going to see those shit pictures and be like, well, we fucking got him now. You know, we weren't going to press charges till we saw this awful loaf of shit in the toilet. But it's something that I find to just be so weird and wacky that I can't help but mention it every time I hear or talk about the EDP story. Because I've never even heard of someone like sending shit pics. He also does send dick pics too. He plays by the meta. But the shit pics was truly something innovative. But anyway, that's basically just the story. YouTuber gets Chris Hansen and gets caught as a pedophile in a sting operation here by the Predator Poachers. And in most cases, you would expect the person behind this to be someone good looking to do something great for the community, like they did a great act catching a bad person. So you would expect most people would be patting them on the back, you know, patting them on the ass, telling them good game. But you can't really do that for the guy behind Predator Poachers. His name is Alex. And since this big bust, a lot has come out about Alex. It's a lot of awful fucking shit. Half of it I can't even begin to show on YouTube because it is really deplorable stuff. Basically what happened is the Spider-Man meme where both Spider-Men are pointing at each other, but in real life. It was like a cliche scene from an action movie right before the villain dies. He's like, I'm taking you with me. That's what happened. So they bust EDP, but then Alex gets busted as well. Tons of clips surfaced from Alex where he was being extremely racist, dropping the N-word, hard R, homophobia. He was being really creepy to a decoy, asking them to do stuff for him, claiming it was a predator asking. It was really unsettling, disturbing, gross shit. He'd also make jokes about having children in his basement that he fucks. Like, he's a weird, gross fucking guy. And since all of this came out and the story blew up, EDP445 has been banned off YouTube, and Chet Goldstein has been banned off YouTube. Chet Goldstein was the channel that Alex would use from Predator Poachers for all of the content, and it's unclear whether or not he was banned for all the racism that was on the channel, or really what he was banned for. If I had to spitball a guess, it would probably be all of the fucking racist shit that came out, and a lot of it was on the Chet Goldstein channel. That would be my guess. But I know when I mentioned this during the initial video, a lot of people were mad at me for saying just because the guy behind it's a bad guy doesn't discredit the investigation or the work. And I never said it did. You're just actual stupid brain to think that because this guy is bad, I am now all of a sudden defending EDP. Nobody's doing that. EDP's bad, and so are the people behind it. It was a good thing done by shitty people. It happens. You can still point out the shitty people while still acknowledging the good thing. I don't know why all of a sudden that was controversial to say. And it's still controversial. Like when people point out how awful of a person Chet Goldstein was, people often get met with angry comments saying, who cares? Doesn't matter. Being racist isn't as bad as being a pedophile. But I mean, they're both bad, so you can still point them out as bad. Like, you're just fucking dumb. Anyway, let me show you some of the clips, because people were also downplaying the severity of how awful this Chet Goldstein Alex guy was. So let me just show you a little bit. Highly censored, though, because this kind of shit is awful.
Dude, you can't say fucking live stream. It's bad. Dude, then we're gonna get offended and report us.
Oh, you're right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? This guy just said a racist creep.
Where are you, black?
Yeah. It's probably a fucking angry or something.
Oh, you're right.
I don't want to eat anything right now. What the fuck, racist for real?
I have a 3-year-old in my basement that's like lacking vitamin D. I provide her with plenty of D, just not the vitamin part.
Oh no, that's not good either.
Oh, really?
Not if it's a child.
Well, I was tired of being a virgin, so what
Oh,
the fuck?
wow.
Yeah. Fucking Nick. Oh shit, I said that in front of 216 people.
Yeah, the guy fucking sucks ass. Like, he's not a good person. He did a good thing, but he's not a good person. You can point out the good thing and also point out that the person is bad. It's not one or the other. It can be both. EDP's bad. Check Goldstein, Alex, Predator Poachers Alex is bad. Now, there is one thing I'd also like to set the record straight on. The guy that was with Alex when they busted EDP on camera, the guy that was wearing the mask, he is not associated with Alex. That is a completely different person named CC Unit. He is not, like, affiliated with Alex and his shit. He doesn't, like, sign off on it or anything from everything I've seen from the guy. He just happened to collaborate with them on this case, and unfortunately, like a porta potty being rocked back and forth, got caught in the crossfire of shit. Which is unfortunate because, I mean, he was probably a good guy and probably had good intentions. He's been doing this for a lot of years from what I can tell. Whereas Alex was just looking to capitalize and make money off it. He was pumping merch through it. When you went to the website, all it was payment plans for like Predator Poacher merch and him saying he'll come to your city to do like a stand-up routine and put like a finger in his butthole, smell it and laugh. Like, all Alex wanted was money out of it, and he got like 100,000 subs. He wouldn't even post the video till it got fully monetized. But CC Unit is not affiliated with that. He's completely separate and just happened to be there and collab with him on the day that they busted EDP. So I actually really do feel bad for that guy, assuming that he doesn't have a past like Alex, but from what I've seen, he does seem to just genuinely want to help make the community a better place. Now, don't pump those brakes yet, because this ride is still going. You can't get the fuck out of here. This is Mr. Bones' wild ride. This is a never-ending adventure here. The biggest development is absolutely the authorities getting involved and saying that they are going to look into the case. But they also acknowledge that it could be a bit difficult given that this is not a very well-conducted investigation by people that are less than professional, which is a remarkable understatement. Calling Alex less than professional is like calling a shotgun blast to the chest a minor boo-boo. It just doesn't really do it justice. It doesn't really capture the magnitude of the statement. Now, in the initial video, I showed you a couple different examples. One where the Predator Poachers made it much more difficult for authorities to move in and actually apprehend a pedophile. They said that the investigation was so bad that they couldn't really sanitize it and use it, and it just made it a lot harder for them to actually get charges against the predator. So we've seen examples where the vigilante predator hunters are really counterproductive to getting a pedophile behind bars, but then in the same video I also showed you an example where they were successful and helpful in getting a predator put away for at least a small length of time. So there's really no way to know where this is going to fall, if it's going to be like this investigation just fucked the case in the ass and now all of a sudden EDP isn't going to face any charges, or if this was actually helpful to the case. Overall, like I said in the last video, I think them going public with it isn't inherently a bad thing. Even if they were just trying to use this as like a spectacle for views and money, bringing it to the public eye was probably the right call regardless, because he was a public figure with a public platform using that platform to prey on kids. So coming public and getting that platform removed from him absolutely was the right call to combating this case in particular. But whether or not that's going to make it harder for authorities to actually put him in jail is what we're going to have to wait to find out. All I know for sure is there are no heroes in this story, but there was a good act done by a bad person. And what a fucking crazy week on YouTube it's been from all this shit. Actually, probably one of the like wildest things I've seen on the platform. And yeah, I just wanted to do a little follow-up to it. I don't know if we'll hear any more about EDP and all this, because I imagine from this point forward it's going to be between him and the authorities. So it probably won't be any more like public drama stuff on EDP, but who knows. Anyway, just wanted to follow this up, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. The goofball finally admitted it and is facing real repercussions for his reckless, ridiculous, stupid stunt of crashing his plane for YouTube views. I'm about to blow a kazoo right now to celebrate. It feels so great. Now, a year ago I made a video talking about a situation with a YouTuber named Trevor Jacobs, who made a video, a sponsored video by the way, where he took off in his plane wearing a parachute which is unusual for a pilot to just have a parachute strapped on him, as I understand it. And while flying the plane, he's like, oh, jeepers, Jiminy Christmas, something's gone wrong. We've lost the engine. And he has like 9 different GoPros set up. And then he just bails out of the plane like he had just accidentally pressed triangle in GTA. He just ejects from the plane and parachutes out with his selfie stick, of course, making sure to get all of the right angles. And then the plane just unpiloted free flies around and then eventually crashes into a mountain. Now, the reason I put an emphasis on the sponsored part of this video is because that played a role in his motivation to crash this plane for views. He said it was part of the sponsorship deal, so I imagine he wanted that shit to bang. So in his deranged little mind, he cooked up this unhinged idea of crashing his plane on purpose and parachuting out. Now, it's extremely dangerous, obviously, because he had no control over where that plane was going to crash. You know, it's not like he's the weather master. He wasn't on the ground doing some kind of fucking sacred wind dance or air bending to make sure the plane crashed into a mountain with nobody around. And even then, there could have been a hiker on the mountain or anything like that. But also, there's a town nearby where it crashed, so what very well could have happened is the plane could have just kept going, gliding, and then eventually being like a fucking terrorist attack on that town, with the plane crashing through a business or a house or something. Just from top to bottom, the absolute dumbest fucking idea a pilot could ever have. And everyone immediately knew that something was fishy here. Everyone immediately pinned exactly what happened, that this was a planned viral stunt. Because in the video, you know, when shit's hitting the fan, he's like, zoinks! It's all going awry. He made no attempt to fix anything, correct anything. His first instinct was to jump out of the plane with a selfie stick filming him and the plane behind him, and then parachuting to the ground. And also, everyone immediately called out how fucking weird it was that he was flying with a parachute strapped to him already to begin with. That's not normal. That's not something most pilots do. So all of the red flags were immediately being tripped. Everyone was sounding the alarm that this was a planned ejection and viral stunt to crash the plane for the sponsor deal. And now the Johnny Sins of pilots is fully admitting it. He's just taken all the egg on his face. He is squealing. He's currently pleading guilty to the obstruction of a federal investigation by cleaning up the site of the crash. This is in reference to Jacob going out of his way to make sure that he gets the wreckage and destroyed it himself, which you obviously can't fucking do, especially with a high-profile maneuver like this, fucking crashing a plane. So it just goes over the situation here. So he's in a plea agreement, and he said that he filmed the video as part of a product sponsorship deal, and he's looking at a potential 20 years in the slammer for it, which it sounds about par for the course. Honestly, it's just lucky no one fucking died doing this. Again, he had no control over where that plane was going to crash. This could have been an unbelievable disaster, even more so than it already was. So he agreed to the plea deal and 1 felony count of destruction and concealment with intent to obstruct a federal investigation. He reported the crash to the National Transportation Safety Board, who said he was responsible for preserving the wreckage. According to the plea agreement, Mr. Jacob later claimed he did not know the location of the site, but he did, and returned by helicopter and secured and removed the wreckage, which he later destroyed. So he's expected to make his initial court appearance in the coming weeks, and his pilot's license was revoked last year. All this for a drop of YouTube attention, potentially 20 years in prison, because you're a starved little clout goblin who needed your fix. You needed your belly full. This has to be one of the most degenerate, terminally online ideas I've ever seen cooked up by somebody, to not only reach a position in your life where you're like, I'm gonna crash my expensive plane for views on my YouTube channel, but then to go through with it and then try and cover up all the evidence. I don't know how anywhere along the way he didn't stop and think, wow, this is gonna fuck me. Because I can't even imagine a world where he would have got away with this. There was no set of circumstances where he would have somehow gotten through all of this without a problem. Everyone knew immediately that this was a planned ejection from the start. Nothing about it looked authentic or genuine. It was all so fucking cringe. Because even when he lands, after the parachuting, because he ejects from the plane, like, immediately. He, like, the second he sees, like, a fly hits the windshield, he's like, oh shit, I'm out. And then he just dives out there. And then the rest of the video is spent with him hiking and giving, like, motivational and inspirational speeches like, man, this is all part of God's plan. The Lord put that parachute on my back today. I woke up and while brushing my teeth, I had a feeling, a tingle in my tummy that told me, wear a parachute today, Trevor. And I listened to that little tingler in my stomach and it saved my life. Sometimes you just get a premonition, you gotta follow through with it, everyone. Sometimes there's a divine plan for you, and that plan for me today was to wear this parachute to save myself from a catastrophic accident. God damn it. Golly gee. And then he hikes over to the wreckage, and then he's like, oh God, look at this. This is terrible. I can't believe this happened. Why? Where did it all go wrong? It's a horrible video. He's a horrible actor. The whole plan was beyond ridiculous. It's just crazy. It's craziness. Jacob also admitted in his plea agreement that he intended to make money through the video. Fucking obviously, that was clearly the main motivator here, that internet clout and ad revenue from the video. He also admitted to lying to federal investigators after submitting an aircraft accident incident report and falsely claimed the plane fully lost power roughly half an hour after takeoff, the news release said. Also, it's pretty clear to everyone watching the video, the plane doesn't exactly just lose power out of nowhere. Everything that happens in the plane in the video actually just seems like a Disney ride. Like, it is just very fucking silly. It seems like that kind of shit that you have is like the pre-ride entertainment when you're waiting in line at Disney. It's embarrassing. And it's so poorly acted that it immediately tipped off people as stupid as me who have no clue about aircraft or anything aviation related. And I was like, yeah, this had to be fake. All of it was so clearly a stunt, a viral play for that ad revenue and that sponsorship bucks. Jacob also lied to a Federal Aviation Administration safety inspector when he said the airplane's engine had quit, and because he could not identify any safe landing options, he had to parachute out of the plane. And again, if you watch the video, he doesn't look for any safe landing options. He doesn't look anywhere except for where his selfie stick was. The closest thing that even comes to a panic is him trying to locate his selfie stick so he can make sure to get good footage. Everything else, he didn't even bother going through. There was no lists of checks that he was making to try and get the engine back online or trying to glide it to safety, looking for a safe landing spot. The dude actually just boot scooting boogies right out of the plane, letting it crash behind him. Well, not behind him, because it still like flew on its own for a little while before crashing into the side of a mountain. But yeah, overall, it is so nice to see him just fully admitting all of this. I mean, we all knew it was fake from the beginning. This isn't like a surprise to anybody. But it's nice to finally just get it from his mouth, and 20 years in prison for it sounds about par for the course. This could have ended a lot worse. Again, there was a town nearby. This could have just killed random people, all for this man's YouTube views. It's so ridiculous. So, just wanted to give a little update to this because when I was streaming today, watching the Moist Esports Rocket League squad absolutely pop off, chat made me aware that Trevor Jacob was finally facing the repercussions and just openly admitting all of it. So right after the games today, I went, checked everything with a big smile on my face, and I figured it was worth updating all of you who may have been, aware of the story but not following it that closely like I was. So looking like the happy ending here. Hopefully he does face that prison time because he absolutely deserves it. That's about it. See ya. I'm sure by now many of you have at least heard of the EDP445 situation. That sounds like some kind of fucking Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg, but for those that don't know, EDP445 stands for Eat That Pussy. He was a big YouTuber. He had a huge online presence, and this week he was accused, and with a lot of evidence backing it, of being a pedophile. And with video evidence, him showing up to a meeting place where he believed he was meeting with a 13-year-old that was actually set up in very similar style to like a Chris Hansen investigation by a YouTuber, Predator Poachers. That name actually is shared by other people who hunt predators, but today this was done by one person or one group in particular, and that person, the big face behind it, is not a good person at all. And that's why I wanted to do this little intro here, because I want to make it clear that there's no heroes in this story. You can't root for the person behind the investigation of EDP. They did a good thing, but they're a shit person. The main guy behind Predator Poacher has had a lot come out about him recently, showing his prank calls to a BLM hotline where he just says the N-word. He said the N-word, hard R, multiple times. Believes he's like an edgy troll, but his trolling is just saying the N-word. Epic prank, and he's just not someone that I can really appreciate the work of, but he and his group were the ones that broke this story on EDP, who is a very bad person as well, who, with all of this evidence coming forward, which is pretty damning, have put together this whole case against EDP445. And today I watched it all on Twitch, streamed it with the community so that way we could all be caught up on the internet lore together. I've heard it's really bad. So yeah, the general gist of it, EDP445, a huge YouTuber, very popular YouTuber. I personally wasn't super familiar with his work. I'd always heard his name though. Stands for Eat the Pussy 445. So this came out a day ago, which was to hype this up. I think this is only reading text messages, and this is when he actually showed up. This is the only thing I've seen. This guy has a fucked up past. Like, even on this channel, apparently some videos that are still up from streams where he'd call BLM and drop the N-word to them or something. Like, he'd call organizations supporting BLM and just start dropping the N-word or some shit. Like, this guy is not a good guy.
So, everybody go subscribe right now. Go subscribe. And if you want to see the full chat messages...
I'm sorry to interrupt again. Another thing, the reason this video took so long for them to put out is because he wanted to wait for it to get full monetization. So that's why he kept hyping it up, and the reason why he kept pushing it back, because it wouldn't get full ads on it. So this guy's kind of a real piece of shit, if I'm being honest. Like, he does a good thing in the worst possible way.
And show interest.
Who starts a conversation like that?
You're old, so...
What?
Bit of talk.
Dropped a mean ass shit. Man, they say fucking chivalry is dead. This guy is suave. Now that is how you flirt. That's a good line for Tinder, I'd say. If you guys need any help on, like, your game, take notes from EDP. Dropped a mean ass shit. And then send an audio message. Do I have to go to the other ones in order to... He sent a picture of his shit? No fucking... Alright, hold on. Does this... We're gonna have to keep going back and forth. This is gonna be like an MLA formatted fucking research paper here with citations. For these text messages, if I want to see them uncensored, do I have to go to this stream?
For more people to...
So do I have to, like, cross-reference the uncensored versions with the stream here? I can't show a picture of literal shit on Twitch, but I need to confirm whether or not he sent a shit pic. That's very bold. Just ordered some pizza, about to fuck this shit up. Pizza sounds good. Hell yeah, I'm about to annihilate that shit. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! He sent a picture of his shit! Dropped a mean ass shit, and it's a full loaf. This man, he's sending shit pics. And that is not a healthy shit. That's very runny. There's no solid foundation of the stool. That is alarming, considering he just annihilated a pepperoni chicken pizza. He also sent his dick. Yeah, but that's not nearly as cool as a shit pic. EDP was breaking new grounds. They were only just starting to talk. It had been 2 days, I think. And then he hits her with, drop a mean ass shit, and then sends a picture of his toilet bowl with poopy in it. Yeah, I'd show the other video, but I'm worried of how many pictures of shit he might have sent. Like, what the fuck is this? Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, just having lunch. What did you eat? Tacos. That's cool, what are you doing? Just got done beating my shit. Now watching YouTube. Oh yeah, I just had some tacos. Also just beat the fuck out of my cock. What are you doing? Yeah, he sent a picture of his actual unedited shit. He didn't even put like a cute little emoji over it, so I'm a little concerned to show it. I think we're right here. How is this possible? I just went to a random point in here. How is the bathroom trip going? Going great. I'm fucking this bitch up. What the fuck? Are you sure he only sends one shit pic? Like, it seems like that's all they talked about, was him shitting. I went a little too far. I skipped ahead in the lore. I was at 14 minutes, not 20. But I accidentally spoiled chapter 2 here, it seems. I like this part. Relax, I'm not a weirdo or anything. When literally 5 days ago he sent a picture of his actual shit in a toilet. No. We're doing both videos. The only reason I'm going back and forth is because these are censored and I want to understand how we got here. Oh, he seems bothered that she's 13, but then for some reason continues to talk. Oh, okay, here we go. So he has like a realization here. Not enough to go to jail over. Okay. So how does he continue to like fall for this then? I was eating a corn dog today and the bitch burned the roof of my mouth. I spit that shit out so fast. Alright. Just a little PSA, don't take pictures like this. These kind of pics just never really work. It's just kind of a weird pic. Make sure you get some good flattering angles. You don't need to put like a ton of thought into it, but just enough to know where it doesn't look like you're crawling under someone's bed. Where are you ticklish? On my back and stomach. If you ever want something from me, and you want it, the easiest way would be to tickle me. Okay. I hope you don't tickle me, that's my weakness. If EDP was a boss battle, tickling would be his weak spot. That'd be your DPS phase. One of these days, I'm gonna surprise you, put my hands over your eyes and be like, guess who? That's like the worst surprise ever. That'd be like the last way I'd want to be introduced to somebody. Ugh, this is so fucking weird. Want your first kiss to be enjoyable. This really does remind me of To Catch a Predator, like the chat logs that they'd show. So he was like super into nibbling on her ear and being tickled and shit. Started talking about sex, and then here he had a realization like, that's fucking illegal and wrong and bad. And now we're caught up. No, we're not. Oh my god, this is still not it. Cute little fingers. Oh, how did this... Okay, what? How did this happen? Literally, like 10 messages ago, he's like, this is bad. Can't do it. We can be friends. Cute fingers, by the way. So you want to have sex? I can go easy, of course. Wait. Nah, EDP doesn't go easy. He goes ultra nightmare mode. There's no slowing down there. Man's just a fucking machine. I honestly enjoy doing what my YouTube name says. Eating the pussy. Yeah. Munching down on those beef curtains, baby! Yeah, there you go, EDP. What's the 445? Just a random number I chose, nothing to the meaning. Definitely has meaning now. I think the 445 absolutely has meaning. The amount of years he'll spend in jail. Well, probably not. You guys, I didn't know this. I learned this the other day. You guys remember Jared Fogle? The guy who had like 15 quadrillion quadruple bytes worth of child porn on his computer, as well as like openly admitting to abusing kids. You know he only got 13 years in jail? Did you know that? I thought he got life imprisonment. This man had so much child porn they had to invent a new way of measuring how much he had. And he only got 13 years in jail. This had to be like a full-time job texting this guy. Putting in 9 to 5 hours here on the text messenger. Can't wait to hug you and kiss you. On the lips. On the cheek. On the neck. And I'd kiss and taste you down there. The vagina. The old vagina. Man, EDP really does just have a way with words. I love to kiss and lick the top of the foot. I love the toes, actually. Huh. So I can lick and suck your boobs. Pretty incredible. How does it feel? Pretty incredible, to be honest. The nipples get hard and really sensitive. I'm telling you, this is a lie. EDP went full fanfic here. He didn't fuck a school teacher. He didn't suckle on her nipples. This doesn't sound like anything a school teacher would say. I'm gonna know more about EDP's fucking life than his therapist does. There's so many text messages. For a virgin, the vagina is tight. Oh, here we go. Getting a health ed course from EDP, the man who just sent a picture of his shit. Basically, when intercourse happens, the penis is stretching open the vagina and forcing those muscles to temporarily stretch apart from one another. That's where the pain comes from. Ah, yes. She should have quizzed him. And what exactly does the potassium pump do in the body, EDP? You seem very knowledgeable on anatomy and physiology. Can you complete my homework? You used the wrong form of your EDP. Some teacher you are. Your body is full of excitement and anticipation. You're wrong, you're again. Your body I'd anticipating the sex. Poetic. Shakespearean, in fact. I also like roleplay. Hey, that's where you dress up and pretend to be Chris Hansen arresting me. It's a big fetish. Babe, 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 babe. My cute ass little baby girl. How many days have passed since he said, we can only be friends. This is illegal. This is bad. This will fuck me up if it ever got out. I can't do this. And then he immediately goes into, babe, 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 let me suckle your nipples. Man, he really knows what to say. I ran out of toilet paper while taking a shit at the auntie's house. Hey, now I'm starting to get a little hot and bothered if I'm being honest. This guy's just smooth. The amount of times he's told me about his shits that he's taken, sent me a picture of his shit, how can I not start to fall in love, you know what I mean? Such a sassy little shit. I love it. Come to your house, climb through your window, and kiss your cute ass passionately. That's the only solution. Alright, climbing in like the tooth fairy, but instead of leaving money under the pillow, he leaves a little kiss. A little nibble on the ear. Maybe suckle on the toes a bit. Whoa, what the fuck? Handcuff you, throw you in the back of my car, and bring you back to my dungeon. That got really intense super quick. What's brewing? If I'm being honest, it's that I can't wait to feel how tight your vagina is. Cock is really hard. That's how it gets when guys get horny. He's really gone in hard now. He's fucking firing in the turbo boosters here. Before it was like, oh, I can't wait to just put my hands over your eyes and say, hello, surprise. Right into, fucking how tight is that pussy? My rock hard dick is about to burst. Ugh, you even have me jerking off. Damn you. He's shaking his fist in the air while he's jerking off. And God damn you. Fuck. Why have you done this? Oh, okay, hold on. I just read that. Let me just make sure there's nothing there. Hold on. I'm not taking any chances here. Oh, he actually sent his cock. Oh, God. What is happening? He's going wild in the text messages now. Fuck. He's busted nuts twice in a single text string? Lord. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna send it on Instagram. It's not letting me send videos here. What the fuck? That's cum, babe. I hope he, like, came into a glass or something, or like a petri dish and stirs it around like a whole lesson. Ah, madame, this is splooge, also known as semen. Many other names. Basically, whenever it feels so good to the point where I can't take it anymore, that's what happens, yes, the milk, the cream. Holy shit. You weren't kidding. This is really, like, fucking bad. And then the fact that he actually shows up. This is actually horrible. Oh no. He's becoming self-aware. He starts to recognize, like, shit. These could actually be screenshotted. Oh, and then from that concern, immediately back into, like, playing the health teacher. I know your body is growing and starting to develop. That's why I agreed to this. I want to be your first little cute ass. Want to bend you over my table and oh! Just want to throw you on my bed and lick you up. Oh! What the fuck? This is worse than like 50 Shades of Grey writing, and that shit's horrible. They unironically use the term like sodden panties in that book. What do you think about that? I like that conclusion, as if you just dropped the mic. Yes, I want to fuck your fucking butthole. I want to butt fuck your pussy. So what do you think? Will you invest in my company? Like it's Shark Tank? That's probably the face he made when he went to meet her in person, and it was just two dudes with a camera. That's probably the exact face he wore right there. That's like a YouTube shocked thumbnail. Of course, real vaginas don't produce lube. Is he a virgin? It's not like vaginas are just dry. It's not like sticking your cock into like sandpaper. Maybe he just means like it doesn't produce Astroglide or something, like a specific lube brand. Like they don't have like it's not like Spider-Man's webs, like in the Amazing Spider-Man where you have to like put new web slingers in there for vaginal lube. But vaginas actually do get lubricated themselves. They're like a self-lubricating apparatus, really. Kiss your daddy goodnight. Sleep tight, princess. So this is when he finally started to believe this could all be a fucking setup. As if there wasn't an entire fucking 3 seasons of an extremely popular show all about this exact same thing. Even being fully aware of this very real possibility. Literally for like the 10,000th time in this conversation. Yeah, I guess every time he busted a nut, he started to realize this could all be fucking fake and a setup. But then after post-nut clarity faded away, he went right back to the, let me suck your fucking toes and take a shit.
Here, he doesn't want to be...
Let's go have a talk. How about on that bench right there?
Okay.
Can we give him a lav mic so we get better audio? Let's really go in here. Put this on, EDP.
Coming out here to...
Glasses off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Oh, okay.
There was...
Do they sell cupcakes in this driveway?
Oh, okay. So you should title a video instead of your video almost through hands with a 13-year-old. You should title your video almost hands with a 13-year-old. I think that'll get a lot of hits, EDP.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is you.
Good one. So he's got like a whole little routine
So,
prepared.
What made you? So you initiated a conversation with a 13-year-old knowing she was 13, yes or no?
Correct.
Okay. So is that a good...
That guy in the background's trying so hard to seem like he's not listening.
You've been exposed for this before.
Correct.
And you called them, but this is damning.
Right.
This is... I had to make sure myself.
Right.
Do you recognize me?
No.
Okay. I had to make sure myself.
Well, that didn't really work. You don't have the Chris Hansen prestige yet.
Me and my friend Keisha.
Do you know who I am? Nope.
Hilarious, man.
Okay, that hurt.
What I don't understand, why are you attracted to like 13-year-olds? Like, why are you attracted to underage?
That's a good question, yes. Why do you like children?
In one of the...
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
You've always wanted to be with someone younger. Like, you like cops.
Right.
Like, what goes through your head?
They should have rehearsed a little bit like what they want to ask.
Real, man. What goes on...
So why are you a pedophile?
Is loneliness, dude. I'll be completely honest with you, man.
Do what Chris Hansen does. He does a really good job with interviews.
Let me, because we're not like that. We're not like that. We're not attracted to minors.
Bro, come on, man. You know exactly what it is, dude. Okay?
No, we're attracted to female our own age, dude.
Let this be known. Let this be known. I am not a...
So what are you? If you're here to meet up with a 13-year-old girl after sending...
He hit it up like it was a catchphrase. Hey, not a pedophile.
A guy that is...
But we can forward this to cops because most definitely this is not your first time either, right?
Right.
This is absolutely not.
Whoa.
This actually is my first time.
You just said it wasn't your first time.
Yeah, that was a bit rough on that one, EDP.
So the first time was...
You've done this before, yes. But I mean, no, though.
Right?
Yeah.
So, now, as far as the whole fantasy goes, you know what I mean? Let's be real, okay? You know what I mean?
Like, what does that mean? Stop saying you know what I mean.
Don't know what you mean.
Sexual fantasies, that's what I mean.
Okay, so sexual... I'm not calling you the P word, if you know what I'm talking about.
Look at these screenshots.
I'm not calling you the P word.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Do you fantasize about females under the age of 16, yes or no? Sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you doing? Holy shit.
You fantasize about a 13-year-old, correct? Yes or no? Correct. Okay.
Holy shit. This is fucking rough. Holy shit.
I know, but you said earlier it was your first time.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. So you said, so 13 is the fantasy. Like for me, okay, 18, I think there's hot 18-year-olds. I wouldn't do anything with a 17-year-old, but there's hot 17-year-olds. But I don't go, yeah, when I see a 17-year-old, I'm just like, I can't do it. Like it's just not right.
What are you going on about?
Maybe about 7 months ago.
This is just an extremely long confession. He's not fighting any of this.
What was it that made you realize?
Holy shit.
For example, it's a bad analogy. You know, like if there's a hot 19-year-old into me, I'm like, oh, awesome. But if there's like, I shouldn't say there's such thing as a hot 12-year-old, but if there's a 12-year-old into me, a 13-year-old,
Jesus Christ.
I would never. So what makes it okay to you for you to come here?
It doesn't make it okay. I'm just being honest with you. The screenshots, of course, I did. I mean,
but like, why would you send it to a 13-year-old? Like, and that proves that you were turned on by it.
Well, he said that a million times. We know that.
Because you were hard when you were doing. Obviously, yes or no. So
he said that millions of times. I read it. I felt like I knew his cock pretty well by the end of those messages.
Honestly,
Chris Hansen did it very well. Chris Hansen was a beautiful weapon against pedophiles, but YouTubers are not. Like, the only reason this video even surfaced is because they were finally able to get full ads on it. If this video never got ads, this wouldn't have even come out. They would have just let it ride, or let it die. They're really just in it for, like, views to exploit bad people like EDP. This one seems staged. Okay, I can tell you this one is definitely not staged because his entire YouTube career has ended. This one is definitely not one of those fake ones. I can assure you of that. Like, even the interview it's not even an interview. The questions are, so you're a pedophile, why? I also like hot girls, but if they're 17, it's like, they're hot, but, you know, I can't do that. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, you should have just taken Chris Hansen's script. You know, not this. Did they call the cops? That's what I don't know. Like, I don't know if they even get law enforcement involved. If you take their word for it, they do, but I don't know. I don't know enough about them, so I couldn't tell you yes or no. I would hope so. Like, if they went through all this effort, did a full investigation, and didn't give it to authorities, they should also be at some level responsible for, like, endangering minors to allow someone like that to continue doing their shit. So I would think that it would go to law enforcement at some point.
Okay. But this isn't the first minor you've talked to before, correct?
Right.
And there was more than one minor.
Holy shit.
Last summer I've had all these females reach out to me about you, and you know, at first I was like, okay, attention. Honestly, I was. But then I see more and more and more, and I see you saying if anybody finds out about this, you're
oh, what a good way of looking at that. Hey, I was manipulated and abused by this guy. Attention, whore.
Ballpark number of how many minors you talked to. Like, you know, obviously it's been 5, so after 5, what would you say the number is?
6.
6? 6 minors.
6.
Name them.
6? Holy shit.
There's what was her name?
Is he just making this up? Because he's like actively making everything worse. I feel like he's just making up names.
Like, yo, what the dude? Like, real talk, man.
Obviously, you didn't go what the F because you're talking to a 13-year-old.
Right.
I believe you did know her age before, yes or no?
Wrong. How old was the girl? Which one?
This is unreal.
What about the cameo?
I believe. Oh, you in the cameo one, right?
The one where you talked about
the boyfriend hit you up for the cameo.
Send you private.
Thanks the prime, Matt.
Probably 14, maybe 15. I'm not sure, but that was
number 2.
So, seeing this really makes me appreciate Chris Hansen's work even more.
You do explain why you find her attractive, but I was just trying to...
I guess I never even stopped to consider how hard it must be to do something like this.
Girl number 3, girl number 4.
This is so long for no reason. They're saying nothing. They're not actually interviewing him.
In all these situations where you're
okay, I'm just gonna skip a little bit. Do you guys mind if I skip a little bit? This is really bad.
Like I thought it was last summer.
You're soliciting child photos from this girl.
Right.
That's another charge, you know that, right?
No.
Do you know how many charges you did here today?
3.
More than that. What, you counted them like Pokemon cards? Three charges, collecting them all?
2 counts of graphic photos. You asked for graphic photos from this girl, and you came here to engage in sexual activity with a 13-year-old.
Well, hold on. This is like an actual question. Like this is actually hitting him with something. Actually something.
They're not misdemeanors. They're not infractions.
Hold on. Let me see where this goes.
They're felonies. So
you were also a little bit submissive to her, yes or no?
So well,
you were a little bit submissive to her, yes or no?
I was.
Do you like being? Do you have a fantasy? So you did make you fantasize about 13-year-olds, yes or no? Okay. Do you also fantasize?
This guy's like the only guy that's actually trying to go somewhere with
What
this.
about a 13-year-old?
And you have the audacity to say, please don't do this. Are you serious? We should be asking you, please don't do this to minors.
I
We
mean,
should be not doing this to minors.
he's like that guy or the girl in Game of Thrones walking around with the bells. Shame. Shame.
Apartments?
He's calling a friend right now.
Yeah, he's at the apartments.
Well, yeah, he needs to get picked up.
Right now, Philip.
Just please come.
What are you panicking for? He's clearly calling a friend to get the fuck out of there. He's trying to get extracted from the mission.
Right by the jacket.
Okay, please come quick. He's calling. It looks like he's calling some backup. Okay, all right.
Oh, this guy sucks. Looks like he's calling some backup.
So be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We have a ton of new viewers. It'll help us a ton. We flew.
I knew there was
going to
be a subscriber call to action.
EDP. So be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Okay. So that is fucking rough. That was a lot worse than I thought it'd be. EDP got fucking blasted. Yeah. The investigation, I think, was a very good thing done by very bad people. I did also see this one. The things this guy says are really bad. Like, racist, all kinds of horrible shit from this guy. And a lot of people have taken note of it, but not everyone. I don't think this guy should be gaining so many subs for this shit. He did a good thing, and he tried his best to make a lot of money off it and capitalize on it, constantly calling for subscribe actions, refusing to post the video till it has full ads. So, I think the guy sucks, but what he did was good. And when he's talking to this guy in particular, he keeps talking about how... So, I'll break it down. The guy here is suicidal. He gets caught and he starts talking about how he's suicidal, he's tried to kill himself a couple of times, and in response, this guy says, you can't kill yourself because you're Jewish. That'd be a hate crime. What are you, some kind of Jewish Nazi? And then he keeps saying that for like 5 minutes. Like, that's his whole joke. He has like a little stand-up routine about why this guy shouldn't kill himself because he's Jewish. It's horrible. I actually, before finishing this up, I do want to look them up one more time. They claim that they've done this before, and the chat has told me that they've had people arrested. I want to see that. Okay, let me just immediately show you why I doubt that these guys actually care and are doing this for a good cause. Just going to their website. This is the first thing. Before you get anything else, you get payment plans. This is fucked up. So now where can I find out their track record? Have they actually gotten bad people off of the streets? Or do I have to pay to get that information? Holy shit. Making merch for hunting pedophiles. That's so weird. What does that merch even consist of? It's gonna be like one of those, like, cool dad shirts, like, I'm a veteran, I didn't fight in wars for you to look at my daughter, I'll put you in the ground. It's gonna be like one of those. I hunt pedophiles for views on YouTube. Or for money on YouTube, excuse me. At least Anxiety War, I do know the channel, at least they seem to actually want to do something good, and being successful is just, it came with the turf for them. Like Chris Hansen. Though I wouldn't really compare Anxiety War to Chris Hansen, but what I'm saying is at least they seem to be in it for a good reason. And there's also no information on the site except for buying things. I just wanted to know, do they have any proof that their investigations and this content they've made has actually gotten anyone arrested, put away, off the streets, anything? A lot of you said that they did, so I'm just wondering where you found that information. Who wouldn't want to walk around with a shirt that says Predator Poacher Hunters Club? That'd be pretty cool. Ah, so the first thing that comes up when I look this up, vigilante investigation creates issues for prosecuting cases. Talking about the Predator Poachers. Ah, wonderful. There's not a lot that the police can do to sanitize a bad investigation from a legal perspective. So they actively made it difficult to prosecute a pedophile. They're doing the opposite of helping. Yes, here's the main difference. Something I talk about. Things like To Catch a Predator is done in collaboration with the law enforcement. So that way it's done in the right way so that they can actually face legal ramifications. Okay, so here's a positive one. I don't know if this is the same group because the guy behind it asked to be uncredited and unnamed, which does not sound like the Predator Poacher guy at all. But a vigilante predator hunter got 2 people arrested, and one of the charges stuck. I don't think this is the same group though because the guy explicitly asked to not be named, whereas this guy wants all of the limelight possible for as much money as possible. So I don't even know if that's the same guy. But if it is, something has really changed along the way. That was in March of last year. Yeah, the benefit here is, as opposed to the other ones, EDP was a public figure that was preying on children. So even if he doesn't get any legal charges, which I think the evidence is there that should work, even if he doesn't, he's now lost the platform where he was preying on kids. So that in and of itself is a good thing. I would normally agree with that, No Bud, but the thing is he was using his public platform to prey on people. So he should be publicly shown in this light, so that way people can avoid him. I think that is very much the right way of handling this case in particular to make it all public. I don't think anyone's sympathizing with the Predator. It's really just a matter of the person who caught the Predator is so unlikable that you can't help but mention it when talking about the story. I really don't think there's anyone on EDP's side. Everything he said and did is deplorable. But when you have the guy who caught the Predator saying, like, quickly get here, he's calling for backup, you can't help but be like, holy shit, not only is the pedophile evil, but this guy's also evil. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to just focus on one guy when they're both bad. About a month ago, I covered a situation around a massive YouTuber named Quebblecop. If you don't know who that is, probably just sounds like Rick and Morty gibberish to you. I'll give you a brief rundown. He was once a beloved YouTube Let's Player. His content mainly was geared towards a younger audience. He'd have videos like first to poop in Grand Theft Auto, gets a diamond sword, you know, that kind of thing. And eventually, over the last year or so, made a hard pivot going all in on AI technology in order to fully replace him. So he wants to phase out the cringe organic meat machine that is a human being and replace it entirely with AI. AI doing the scripting, AI doing the voice recording, AI doing the face cam, all of that. And I made a video going over it, kind of just taking a victory lap, wiggling my fingers saying I told you so, because that is a pleasure more satisfying than sex. I had been preaching like a crazy person that the flesh was limited, like our days were numbered, AI was going to swoop in and nothing was safe. And people pushed back and fought me on it, saying like it can't really replace a personality, no one's going to sit around and be entertained by AI online or anything like that as like a streamer or a YouTuber. And I had said, you know, that's a bunch of horseradish. That's absolutely in the cards. That is very possible because you wouldn't know it's AI. And that's exactly what Quebblecop's been trying to do. He rolled this abomination out where it's an AI voice modeled after him, as well as this fucking Nick Jr. looking caricature of himself up on the top left that does all of the face cam and all of like the pog faces and all of that shit. And it wasn't received super well. And I was just kind of talking about how it's very primitive right now, but in another couple of years, you're not going to know it's AI behind it. And that brings us to today, where Quebblecop released a tweet that said it was the end of Quebblecop AI. And I got tagged in this hundreds of times by people saying, look, he's giving up on it. See, you were wrong. AI will never work here. So let me splash a little cold water on you. You didn't watch the video. This is not surprising, very par for the course for the modern internet. It was clickbait. He played you like a fiddle, you bunch of fools. If you had just turned on that video underneath the caption, you would have seen that he is not quitting AI. He is actually rolling out an improved version of it. People keep saying, did you hear Kwebbelkop's getting rid of his AI? That is just proof that you only read the headline. In the video itself, he even says, it makes it very clear that not only is that video AI, it is his AI speaking the whole time, but that the only thing that he's regretful of is that he let it go out while it was still too primitive. He's not getting rid of AI. He's going even harder on it. All-encompassing, we'll cover this. He is not stopping. Since no one likes to actually watch the video that the headline was for, we'll do it together.
11 years ago, I started my YouTube journey. My one and only goal was to entertain as many people.
If you even watched it for a second, by the way, if you even went past the headline for 5 seconds into the video, you would immediately notice that something is awry, because it's not synced. The voice and lip sync is completely off.
And I wouldn't trade this in for anything in the world. But even a dream job
OMG, it's like a dub anime.
and growing old.
It's not,
This made me
okay, it's not
realize
that off.
This is not something I'll be able to do for the rest of my life. There will always be a point where I'll end up quitting. That might be now, that might be 10 years from now.
But anyway, he goes through this whole spiel and then makes it very clear he is not quitting. That was just an attention-grabbing headline for the video and the Twitter post. Here.
We've received. And the
Kwebbelkop 2.0, baby. Bigger than Cyberpunk 2.0. He is not stopping AI. Please, just fucking watch the thing that the headline is for.
barriers of entry.
That is, when I heard him say that the first time, it made me really upset. There has never been a lower barrier of entry to any job position in the world quite like content creation. Anybody, pretty much, even if you don't have a computer, can start firing up content creation thanks to built-in content creation tools on like a console. There has never been something with a lower barrier of entry. Completely talentless, completely effortless, you can do it. Right now. It's all at your fingertips. There is no benefit to using AI as some kind of lower barrier of entry. In fact, it's only a higher one because you have to pay Kwebbelkop for it. That's baloney. That's fucking dirty barnacles.
Regardless of any disability they may have. So please consider subscribing and enjoy the story the real Kwebbelkop wants to tell. The story of Kwebbelkop AI. Thank you.
Huge. So please, just watch the thing that the headline is for. So many people think that he's actually getting rid of AI. He is not. This was all announcing Kwebbelkop 2.0. He is only going harder. Your stance on AI is cap? What? What stance on AI? That YouTubers using it are just to make it even easier to pump out content forever? AI is not an enhancement tool for a YouTuber. Or, sorry, a content enhancing tool for a YouTuber. It's a more minimal effort tool. Just have AI do it for you. Then you don't even have to be there. There is no benefit to YouTubers using AI for their content. At least, okay, I can see a use case for certain branches. For example, he did mention something that is true. It would be helpful for anyone with like a disability. That is a legitimate use for using AI tools. But for like a goofball Let's Player, there is no benefit to just having all of the footage be recorded by someone that's not you, and all of the audio recording and the face cam and all of that be recorded by AI. It's just more laziness is all. Just makes it even more mindless. Another thing the chat and I discussed last night in regards to this situation is what about AI tools? So not so much like a deep fake or voice model after a person, so AI pretending to be a human or deceiving people into thinking that it's a human being behind the content, but tools that are AI powered, such as real-time translating into other languages. So taking a video or any piece of content and in real time translating it into other languages. And I actually thought that was a pretty strong and interesting use for AI, as opposed to what Kwebbelkop keeps pitching. Some of his tweets indicate that he wants to sell this as a service that kind of just does everything for you, so you can just kick back and allow the AI to do all of the video production with very minimal input from the channel owner. You just sit back and let it just squeeze on the titties of the YouTube algorithm by flooding it with AI content. Not too dissimilar from back in the Finger Family era, if many of you remember the Dark Ages, God rest your soul. Basically, the Finger Family rabbit hole was a bunch of videos that were pretty much AI generated, I think they actually were at the time, where it would take a song, such as, 5 little Indiana Jones jumping on the bed, one fell off and bumped his head. It would take that song, and it'd have like a very short animation with it that looped fucking endlessly. It was like worse than purgatory. Going to hell would have actually been more pleasant than watching the Finger Family content. And it would take that video and song and change one word in it every time. That was just another popular character. Hulk, Captain America, Freddy Fazbear, whatever. And it would just keep pumping out the exact same video with one slight change to the animation and the song, and it would flood the YouTube Kids section with that. Not exactly high quality stuff that Kwebbelkop seems to think it would be in his utopia where everyone's using AI to be YouTubers, I guess. He keeps trying to fall back on this copium that it's there to enhance content, but it's not. It's just purely a detriment. No one is clicking on a Kwebbelkop video hoping to find a robot impersonating him. They're there to watch him play Minecraft or whatever, not someone deceive them. Right now, the only reason people ever click on a Kwebbelkop AI video is because they don't know that it's AI that they're going to be watching. It's there deceiving people. It's not there because people are like, man, this is really enhancing the storytelling that Kwebbelkop wants to tell. Which is such a goofy thing for him to keep spitting out. What story are you telling here, Kwebbelkop? The story of how Scrooge McDuck found a way to make even more money off minimal effort with AI tools? You're not telling a story. You're making Let's Plays and trying to replace yourself in there so you don't actually have to even do the bare minimum of playing a game and talking. He has other people record the gameplay footage and will have AI do everything else. So that way he's not even a part of the channel, but he makes all the money off of it, and he wants to sell the service, at least based on some of the tweets I read. It's just having your cake and eating it too. If I can get a little profound and deep for a moment, all of this is something that I predicted was coming all the way back in 2020 with our music video for Skynet. Skynet is a timeless masterpiece up there with some of Mozart's best work, all about how robots from the future came to our timeline to milk us because they were powered by our cum. And if I may venture into the weeds a little bit, if you really break down the metaphorical vicissitudes that I put into that storyline, it fits perfectly in line with the modern AI gold rush. You see, the AI is powered by our genetic material, our DNA, at least in this context. So Kwebbelkop is being milked by his AI, and his AI needs that milk to survive. Without Kwebbelkop being milked, the AI has no purpose, it ceases to exist. No one is going to watch a completely personality-less bot, but they will watch one that is modeled after a person that they liked. Thus, the AI needs to be constantly milking the supple teats of Kwebbelkop in order to stay afloat here, for its own survival. It's impressive how right I've been all along, even all the way back with Skynet. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to set the record straight here since so many people just read the headline and nothing else. Kwebbelkop is not stopping AI, it's only motivated him to go even further on it. So, yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.